Good evening, everyone. Dante Stories here, and I am pleased to have Dakota back from the Strong Collectors. How are we doing, Dakota?
Doing great. Thanks for
I
having me.
appreciate you being here today. I reached out to you about a week ago. I know we've been in contact with all these Marvel Legend releases, and I was like, hey, what's your availability like? And I appreciate you being here today because honestly, what I was talking to you about is that I kind of want to start streaming a little bit more. My work schedule's been hectic, so it's kind of hard to be consistent on certain days. But I think starting the next few months, I'm going to be consistent on streaming and putting my input out there and stuff like that. So, like I said, thanks for being here today. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing good. I'm always excited to talk about toys.
Heck yeah, man. That's what we're gonna do today. And obviously Dakota, I met, you and your in the channel, the Strong Collectors, you and Jordan discuss. I've been following you guys for a while now. I know you guys have two channels, the Strong Collectors and the also a comic version of it.
Mhm.
But I did notice in your last video, and guys, please subscribe, Strong Collectors, they create good content, but there's a little bit of something going on between, I understand this whole like content creating, you have two hosts, and sometimes, opinions vary, but it seems like you and Jordan, you kind of in your last video, it seems like something's going on. Can you elaborate a little bit? What's going on there? There's a little bit of
Yeah,
tension.
yeah. Jordan. He's it's hard to say. I don't know. He's always a little. He's got his opinions. They're not
Okay.
always right or good.
Yeah.
And I've let him slide for several years now on the podcast. And I think at last episode, just kind of he derailed it, and I don't know. He thinks he's gonna be able to carry the weight of the Strong Collectors on his own. So we'll see what happens. I'm still gonna be making videos. Maybe he's gonna throw up a video here and there, solo style. But
I don't know, man.
make sure
Some
you're watching
athletes
all of
have
my
tried to do
videos.
the whole by themselves things, but you have the Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen thing going on. When
Mm.
one of you guys leaves, it might not be the same thing. You had the Dwayne Wade, LeBron James duo. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be hard because I like the input, but one thing that your video, you guys were mentioning your top favorite Marvel Legends, and I do agree with a lot of what Jordan was saying, though. That Scarlet Spider is pretty good, that Daredevil, but I don't want you to kick me out of my show today. I don't want you to get upset. I see where you're coming from, right? Double dipping. What are we
Right.
doing? So, but yeah, I love that video. You guys have your input on Marvel Legends, and today I was meaning to ask you, and I think we touched upon this a couple months back when we had a stream on your favorite Marvel Legends of 2025 so far.
Mhm.
I just want to hear your input. I know you've been collecting Marvel Legends for a while, back when it was Toy Biz, and tell me about what you think Hasbro. Do you think the product is getting better? Do you think that they're making strides? I know this pricing increase is a thing. Now
Right.
regular figures are 27.99. It's been announced. Black Series, Marvel Legends, and I'm pretty sure GI Joe. What do you think overall, on the line? What is your take on it?
I mean, I think as far as like figures go, I think this is the golden age of Marvel Legends. I think the figures we're getting look the best they've ever looked. I think they move. The articulation is all being upgraded, updated, things like that. So I think in that way, this is the best time to be a Marvel Legends collector.
Mhm.
Like you said, though, the downside of that is the prices are increasing. And, for whatever reasons those are, they're up now.
Mhm.
And I don't think whenever we hit those thresholds of like 25.99, now up to 27.99, like you said, I really don't see them taking us back down to 25.99, no matter what. Like
Yeah.
if tariffs are all gone, somebody else comes in, it's cheaper to make toys, whatever. They're just going to say thanks for the extra profit, and they're going to move on and still probably raise the prices in a couple years, if not sooner. So that sucks. And I think that's where, like, it's a great time to be a collector, but it's also a good time to be a picky collector. So, like you said, I've been collecting for a while. I don't need and I don't want everything that's coming out. I'm not a completionist, so I'll pick and choose. If there's a really good upgrade, maybe I'll get that new figure. But otherwise, it's going to be kind of like filling in those figures that I don't have, completing teams. So, like with the new Beast that came out in the mini comics wave.
We're gonna
There's the
talk
old
about
one.
that too. Mhm.
This one is way better. So that's definitely one that I'm going to be picking up. I'm excited for that X-Men team, so I'll complete that. But it's not like I need every figure that they're announcing, because and that always surprises me when there's announcements and people are like, "Oh, it was a good stream, but I don't really like this or that. I wouldn't want that." It's like, well, that's probably good, because do you have the money or the space to buy everything they announce every time they do it? No, I want to like maybe 2, 3 things, and then I'm happy.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm right there with you. So I do collect the Black Series from Hasbro as well as Marvel Legends, NECA, mainly TMNT. And with the price increases, I've actually noticed that my collecting habits have changed.
Mhm.
What normally before I would be more open to get, an obscure figure. Now I'm a little bit more, I'm just like, okay, maybe I'll just stick with what I want, right?
Sure.
And us collectors, what's our biggest issue, right? Space, money,
Mhm.
space. I think space more than anything. So I think Marvel Legends, what they do is and Hasbro is that they're really big on world building, right? You get these obscure
Mhm.
characters in Star Wars lore and legends, and that's what makes the line I personally think so good, right? Because you're going to get all these different characters. I do believe that with the price increase, I think it's hard to say, right? Because as a business, you understand that obviously, everything's going up. I'm sure plastic, imports, tariffs, everything, right? Everything's going off, and at the end of the day, Hasbro is a business, and they need to focus on making profit. So a lot of people are saying, well, why am I getting this price increase and nothing with it, right? No,
Mhm.
less paint, less accessories, no build a figure. Um, so, do you think overall, and I'm very happy, and what people would call a shill. I don't think I'm shill level yet. I was
I
saying
think
in one
just
of my
because you
last
enjoy
videos,
something, it doesn't make you a shill. You can like
I
things, and that's
absolutely
fair.
agree. That's fair. Yeah, it doesn't mean that, I'm gonna wear Hasbro shirts and I'm gonna be like Hasbro's the greatest company ever. No, but I enjoy something. I
Mhm.
collect. This is one of many hobbies that I have, right? I like comics, I like video games, I like watching sports. I like doing a lot of things. This is just one of many things that I enjoy. So to me, like this is an escape, right? I'm not gonna like get upset at the at toys because at the end of the day, the best way you can, you know, just don't buy it. If you don't like
Right.
something, you can talk with your wallet and say like, no, I'm just not gonna buy it and
Yeah.
just move on, right? But I do appreciate the passionate people, in this community, in this toy collecting community. There's some people that are you take things personal when it comes to toy collecting. I do appreciate the passion, and I think at some points I agree with the frustrations, right? But at the end of the day, this is like a very it's a not a necessary hobby.
Right.
This is not going to feed us, but put a roof over our heads. It might pay for our kids' college, right? When we sell our collections, that's what I'm anticipating. But toy collecting is it has this weird like people take this very seriously, and
Mhm.
I'm just here to enjoy it. I
Right.
do like Marvel Legends. I enjoy having this representation of a character that I really really like. But I was gonna ask you because you were mentioning how when they re-release a figure, and are you one of the collectors that you enjoy when companies re-release? Like, let's say lately, I noticed that Black Series and Hasbro and Marvel Legends are re-releasing or reissuing some of these figures that were pretty sought after, or in the aftermarket, the prices are really high. Even build a figures, they're releasing that Venom pool came out.
Mhm.
I think Strong Guy,
Yep.
also that Doctor Doom, that retro Doctor Doom and that retro card, and
Mhm.
the Black Series is also a lot of figures that they're releasing. What's your personal opinion on that?
I mean, I don't mind it at all. I think, like, for one, if I don't have it, then that's a good way for me to grab it. Like the retro Electro right now is up for
Yes.
sale right now, so I've been very tempted by that. But then there's also other things that I'm trying to pre-order. So I'm like, when there's ever a gap, if he's still available, I'll probably pick him up. Because I
Mhm.
had him a while ago, but I had him sealed and he was going for like $60. So I was like, oh, I'll just sell him and I'll wait for they're just going to make another Electro eventually, and here it is. So I'll grab
I
it for
admire you
resale.
for that, dude. I admire you for that because I think, and one of the things that I've noticed that you guys do, you and Jordan, you did a really good video back in the day, a while back, of how pretty much your whole collection is almost
Mhm.
like paid for due to, like flipping your own figures, right? You see, you make profit off selling something, you'll buy something new. And if you see something that's going like at a hefty price, you tend to sell it because you've mentioned it to me, and you actually saved me from doing a big purchase. I'm going to talk about that later today with this 2-pack right over here. Where
Yeah.
just you have that, just the waiting game. Just wait. That there's a
Yep.
chance that they're either going to re-release it or they're going to make something better. So that really helps. And I'm somebody that personally, I came to the Marvel Legends game a little bit late, 2021, 2022. So I missed out on a lot of like older figures. I'm trying to do my Spidey collection. I'm missing. So I'm happy Electro's coming out. There's a couple of those animated retro card backs that I'm missing. But at the same time, it's one of those things where, do I wait because everything's gonna get re-released eventually, or your more obscure figures, am I gonna have to be like, oh, I might have to pull the trigger on this, or Black Cat? I don't think they're gonna make another one like that again. Who knows? Sandman.
Like what, the retro? The retro
The
Black
retro,
Cat?
yeah.
I guarantee. Give it a year.
So tell me about your way of thinking of how you your collection. If you see a figure that you own that's going for a hefty price, what is it that, how you let it go very easily, right? Because I think you've let
For the
go of
most
some
part.
really good action figures, but I want you to, if you don't mind, breaking down your thought process in that and all that.
Yeah. So, like I said, I've got a healthy collection. I'm in the bus now, so like you said, before I was in the bus when I had an apartment, and I had a whole display and everything behind me. Like yeah, I was definitely selling figures. We made a video of, I think I sold like $15,000 worth of action figures in a year, of just like, getting local lots or buying people's lots that are like, I'm done with collecting, I want to start over, whatever it is. I'll get
Which
their
is the
lot.
best way, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Uh-huh.
Because then you're usually going to get a discount for buying bulk figures, and then I'll
Mhm.
sell those figures individually. Or like even you said, with like the retro Electro, I had that. He was going for 60. I was like, I can sell that, get myself 2 new figures, and collect that way. But then also with like buying in bulk, like I would get maybe 50 figures, whatever it was. 5 of those I want. The rest of them I could sell. Essentially, I got those 5 figures for free, plus the profit
Yeah.
I made from selling the others. So that was kind of how I went about that. And then other stuff is just like if you've got, like, when they had the retro Spider-Man, and that was going for like, that got up to like 150 or something at some
It's
point.
insane. Yeah.
It's a red and blue Spider-Man. They're going to make another one. If
Yeah.
you're crazy to think they would never do that again. So for me, I would sell that figure off. Then whenever they put out the new one, that's going to drop the price of your old one. Even if you really liked it, go get it for half the price that you sold it for, and you had that profit. But at the same time, though, I still have my cell shaded Daredevil, and he was going for, maybe still is going for, over $100. But I like it. I don't think they're going to make another cell shaded Daredevil that looks exactly like that.
No, I don't think so either.
And with being in the bus right now, it's just like, if I was in an apartment, I probably would have sold it by now and then just rebought it in a year or two when it goes down in price. But I'm a little bit more restricted with like constantly moving around and traveling right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But yeah, it's for the most part, if it's not some like Crystar and Rom, probably not going to get those figures ever again. But if it's Spider-Man related, like any of his villains, they're going to make another one.
Yeah, I'm one of those. Dude, it took me a lot to catch up. So I went kind of
Yeah.
ham. My first like 2 years, I got a lot of stuff. But like I said, I came in at a great time because I think in the last 2 years, 3 years, both the Black Series and Marvel Legends have been releasing some really good figs, man. Like
Mhm.
honestly, like I don't like to go too back because data articulation, paint apps,
Mhm.
the photoreal printing. I actually want like the best version of whatever character I have to be on in my display, right?
Mhm.
So there's some characters that I'm like, "Fuck, should I go that beyond that, like back to get this character, or do I wait until the team releases, either they just repack it or reissue
Right.
it, or a better version?" Like to me, that Doctor Doom was no, like when that came out, I was like, I gotta sit, like I did a pre-order. I know it came out at $29.99, which is a little odd, but right away I was like, yeah, because that's a really good Doctor Doom, and I don't have a
Mhm.
Doctor Doom, so I didn't get the Cabal 3-pack, which I hit myself all the time for that. For whatever
See, if
reason,
I
I'm gonna
had
pick
that
that
right
up.
now, I have that in storage back home, but, like, if I had that in my
You would
possession now,
sell it?
I would sell that, yeah.
No way. That
It
Doctor Doom has a. I think it has a soft goods.
it does, but they have a soft goods Cape Doctor Doom, they're gonna make another one, and there's no way they have that. Somebody with one of our listeners will tell me, like, that Doombot head is going for, like, $50 by himself. I haven't looked it up in a long time, but, like, $50 for a head? Sell that thing. If I had it, it's gone. They didn't make
That's
that
true.
Doombot head to not put it on a figure in the future, so
Have you ever do you own anything where you're like, "I will not sell this no
oh,
matter
yeah.
how much a profit." Yeah, but is
Yeah,
it more because
that's more
nostalgic?
sentimental. Yeah,
Sentimental,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so
But
it's like if it
if
was a
it's
gift
just
from my
yeah.
wife or, from Jordan, and maybe I'll sell off my presents from Jordan now, but, um,
Oh, wow,
I'll
man.
hold on. I'll see if he can, redeem himself before I start
Okay.
selling. They're all in storage anyway, so that they're safe for now. But stuff like that, like I really love the Toy Biz Giant Man Build-A-Figure, like,
Oh, you
again,
do,
that was
you talk very
from
highly of that.
Jordan, but, still, that's like a grail. A lot of those Toy Biz Build-A-Figures, like, I think that's just fun to have, like, a little mini collection of whatever it was,
Mhm.
6 Build-A-Figures, and that's like I was building half of those at least when I was a kid, so that's super
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah.
Like, it was a gift from or like, the first Marvel Legend I got, like, I'll never sell my Mr. Fantastic from Toy Biz because that was the
That was your
first one.
first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yep.
remember you mentioning that before. Yeah, man, like, with me, I honestly, it takes a certain type of individual to buy a whole lot and like how you say,
Mhm.
and, sell 90% of it, keep the ones that you want, and everything's paid for because that takes patience, it takes time, it's a lot of work, dude, and,
Right.
like, honestly, I
It
don't
does, yeah.
have the time. Well, you know that saying, like, you have the time, we just don't we choose not to
Sure.
make the time, right? But it takes a certain type of collector to, like, you do the pictures, you upload
Mhm.
them, you put a price, then once you sell, then you have to go to the, and right now,
You gotta message all
like
the people that are
yes, and then even like USPS, what used to be like the cheapest, now everything's getting expensive.
yeah.
So the profit margin isn't like even like, is it worth it for like 6, $7 profit?
Mhm.
But to me, I don't sell a lot of my figs, but not because of like fear that they will go up in value eventually. It's more like my collection, I every fig that I pick up, unless it's like Wolverine, Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man, I really like the version that I pick up, right? Like
Mhm.
I like really enjoy that character, and I remember I can every single character that I own, every single one in these displays, I remember exactly where I got it or where I ordered it from. So it like has that like sentimental value.
Mhm.
I don't know with you, how are you with buying used toys? You don't mind
No,
it at all kind
I
of thing?
I like right now it's a little bit harder being on the road, but before I preferred it because like I said, it's usually a lot cheaper. And yeah, like especially when I'm backtracking or even like when it's brand new, like I just get it at retail and that's not a big deal. But like getting older figures, like I said, I'm gonna buy them or I'm gonna open all my figures anyway. So if I can get it loose, maybe that's still like $5 cheaper than
And that's
retail.
smart, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think that, if you're an open box collector, that's kind of the way to go. Now, are you, Dakota, the type of person, are you like when you get a fig, are you big on like paint apps, clean paint apps, the face has to be good, all that? I mean, I would say most of us are, right?
Yeah.
But are you
I'd
kind
say
of like for the most part, like if you see a bad paint app, it's gonna be like, like it really like ruins it for you, or are you kind of just like, it's whatever?
I usually don't care too much. Like if it's like some big glaring issue, but even that, like I'm usually pretty forgiving. Like if a Spider-Man's lines don't quite line up on the side of
Mhm.
his head, it's like, I mean, he's gonna be on a shelf over here. Like if I'm doing close-up photography, maybe it would show up, but even that still,
Mhm.
it's not the end of the world. I mean, as long as it's not some big crazy like, oh geez, their eye is like on their forehead, but I don't think that really
Yeah.
ever happens. So
So when it was plastic-free packaging, what was your big like, that was a dark time in
ah,
Hasbro. I remember that was a big deal. How did you feel about that?
that's my one of my biggest hot takes is I enjoyed plastic-free packaging actually,
What was your
um,
main reasoning?
because for the most part, like, I'm gonna buy most of my stuff online anyway, so it's not like I'm going to the store shelves. Like, store shelves, like, yeah, that sucks to see those just in a box and it's a picture of what's inside of it.
Mhm.
That's not so good, but when I'm just ordering it from Hasbro or I don't think you should order from Hasbro, but if I'm ordering from Go New Meta, for example,
There
and
you
it
go.
comes plastic free, I'm going to open it, and then, if it's wrong, I'll just return it. But
Mhm.
I never really had that problem. I had one, the Spider-Man Amazing Spider-Man 15, whatever it was. That
Mhm.
one, his like knee was like fused at the top, so it was like half broken, kind of like ripping off.
Mm.
But again, I just took it right back to Target, replaced it with another one, and it was all good. So
There was some stingy stuff happening though during that era. I
yeah,
don't know if you saw on like the social media that people were replacing, swapping figs.
for sure.
Um,
But they do that with the plastic windowed figures too.
yeah,
So it was easier for them. But again, I'm just gonna go return it. I'll get my money back. Worst case scenario, best case, I just switch it for the same figure that I wanted that's actually in the box. So,
yeah,
and I
no, no,
will
yeah,
say, like with capes and stuff, like usually they'll like package the capes like through the plastic, and then I've got to like
yeah,
cut the plastic out and
dude.
then like try not to
McFarlane
scratch it
is
as
like
I'm ripping it.
notorious for that. Yes,
Plastic free, you don't got to worry about that.
yeah.
It's in a little baggie. It's right there ready to go.
No, hey, listen, a lot of people liked plastic-free packaging, and it was, like, a weird time because especially in, like, Star Wars, so the lightsabers, right?
Hmm.
Or any type of accessories when the plastic sometimes, they the mold, or, like, they bend, the
Yep.
lightsabers don't come, but in the plastic-free packaging, it all came out, like, perfect,
Right.
everything was nice. So, me personally, I would consider myself, obviously open my figures, but there's, like, certain type, like, of figs that I do like to keep in on card. Some of
Hmm.
those, give me one second. Have right here, like this Venom. It
Yeah.
just I have one. I opened one. I don't double up on my figs. I know a lot of people do that, and praises to you because I don't have that type of income where I can
Right.
just buy two of everything, especially because I collect so much. But there's certain ones that I keep on the card just because I think they look cool. And but most of my collection, I would say 95% of them I do open. So it was cool because when it was the plastic free packaging era, well heck, I'm opening up everything, huh? Because
Yeah.
there's no point of just holding them. So there's pros and cons, and obviously for the environment, it does help. Plastic is terrible
Yeah.
for the environment.
Which,
So
like, I never believed that
couple.
for a second from Hasbro that they were trying to be, altruistic
Oh,
of
it
like,
cuts
oh, we're
costs.
gonna like exactly, yeah,
Save the planet. Yeah, that's the yeah, Captain Planet. No, yeah, it was more obviously for, you got to look this company. They're
right.
doing things obviously to save a nickel here and there.
Hmm.
But honestly, like bringing back the Omega Red and the packaging. It, I don't know how. I know some people take packaging very seriously. They like, depending on the type of art, the card back, or everything. I
Hmm.
think Marvel Legends does a pretty good job at packaging. The Secret Wars wave,
Yeah.
very nostalgic. I think. What is your personal opinion on packaging? Not
Um,
plastic free. I mean, do you
yeah.
really care about the art? Do you really care about, like the back, the bios, every like that stuff? Or are you kind of like,
Yeah. I think for the most part, I don't take too much like packaging into consideration when I'm getting stuff. It definitely does like make it feel more fun when you get something that looks really cool when you're opening it.
Mhm.
And like even going back to plastic free packaging, I think the best thing that came out of that time was like them getting like artists to do the like special art for the boxes, like the Mojo pack was really cool, like making it look like a
Yeah,
TV.
that was really cool. Yeah,
Same with like
that
the
was really
Venom
cool.
3 pack was a cool like art design.
Mhm.
So like I wish they would like keep doing that with different stuff, but I do think like if especially if it's gonna be on store shelves, like having the Omega Red 2 pack there, like that definitely looks much better to walk down store aisles and see what you're getting right there. But then like as like a made to order, or not made to order, but just like if it's gonna be not on a store shelf like a Pulse exclusive or a like Amazon fan channel exclusive, then I think it's cool when we get some of those like the 5 packs usually have the different art on the front, because then you can like I like to display those as like
Mhm.
like free little posters that you get too, and you can't really do that with the um, regular windowed packaging. Like those, you're probably just going to toss if you open it.
Yeah.
But I do like the retro cards too. I do think that's like another Hasbro. That was their sneaky way of like working in like, oh, you don't need to build a figure, but pay the same price, same amount of accessories minus a build a figure. So they're saving money on that. But It's
So Dakota, I have to ask you, what is
Mhm.
your take on Build-A-Figures and just your honest take on them?
I love them.
Okay.
I think it's super annoying when like the Blackheart Build a Figure wave. Definitely, I wanted Blackheart. He was one of my most favorite like Toy Biz, even though I didn't really know the character too much. I loved Blackheart. I really wanted an update. Didn't want anybody else in that wave. So like then that sucks that he's a Build a Figure. I was hoping he'd be a deluxe, but maybe eventually I'll get him in a lot or something, or pick him up loose and
Yeah.
it'll be fine. But I think it's a lot of fun when you get the figures one by one. You get to put the pieces together and then boom,
Mhm.
like especially only if it's substantial. I'll say that because like if you're building Puck, that's not a build a figure. That should never be a build a figure. Cosmo the dog, I
Cosmo,
don't like that.
yeah.
No. But if I'm putting together like Nemesis or
Yeah.
Mindless One, those are fun to build.
Now I have a question. Is Dakota, is this mainly because you collect a lot of Marvel Legends and when there's a wave, you're more than likely to collect the whole wave? Or is it because you enjoy the thought of, is it more like, okay, I'm getting more bang for my buck. If I get this whole wave, I'm rewarded. I get an extra fig. What's the main catch or grab? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan, but not
Sure.
because of the reasoning. I don't like how you said Blackheart is now locked in with 2 or 3 figures that I don't want. But then there's like, okay, you could always just sell those off
Yeah.
and it helps pay for it. But I'm all about um deluxe figures, right? To
Mhm.
me, I'm like, just do it separately. I'll pay for it. Now I understand getting a little bit more bang for your buck, but what is the like for you in your instance? I know, do you typically pick like you'll buy a whole wave of Marvel Legends or how does that work?
I I don't think I've ever like sat down and like bought an entire wave of Marvel Legends. I think it's more so like I think it definitely goes back to like nostalgia of like I was building the Toy Biz build the figures as a kid, like
Okay.
going and that was like I was only buying those at Walmart or whatever store I was going to. Like I had to find those in person, had to hunt for them, as much as a kid can whenever my mom's got to go get groceries at Walmart. Like I don't even know if Walmart had groceries at the time, but like, you're going to go check out the toy. I'll be like, oh no, mom, I need this one because it's got the leg that I need. And my parents were actually pretty like they understood like, oh, we got to like, complete the wave to build the figure. So they
Okay.
were supportive of that as a kid. So I built like the Apocalypse, Onslaught, Sentinel. So those were super fun because those were like giant build a figures.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting into Marvel Legends now, usually you can kind of like pick out which ones are going to be the stinkers of the wave. Like, oh, I don't know if I need to get like Husk because she's going to probably go on clearance eventually. But like maybe the more popular character, I'm going to get that one now. And then like I'll usually pick and choose. Like if I wanted, usually 3 figures out of a wave is about what I usually am interested in. And then
Hmm.
maybe I'll just pick up the other figure or like the other like build a figure pieces loose because
Yeah.
you can usually get those for like $5 to $15 depending on what it is. So
Yeah.
it's I totally get not like liking build a figures because you've got to buy so many more figures that you don't even want. But I do think that that does help the like depth of the line because
Yeah.
if
The
you
more
if
obscure
you didn't
figures.
have a build a figure to drive the sales of somebody like Husk or Crystar even, would
Hmm.
that figure sell as well? I guess we've seen Rom, like Rom sells really well, but I'm thinking more like niche. Seems like
Yeah.
female characters are harder to sell.
Yeah, it's tricky, dude, and that segues really well into one of the discussions that I had, and I talked to you earlier today. If you had watched the Ryan Ting interview with Ryan from 3POA and Bobby Valla, and honestly, I found it there's a lot of good information on that.
Mhm.
I think Ryan Ting, great guy. I think overall, these individuals that work for these big companies, they're people like us, right? Some of them are collectors like us. Some of them, I really think that those three guys, Dwight, Ryan, and Dan, are passionate at what they do. And I think out of what I've seen when it comes to like toy industry, I think especially Dan, they listen, or at least they try to communicate with the community, the action figure community. I know that the Marvel Legends, I mean the Black Series guys, they hardly ever reach out or are on streams or anything like that. So it's very difficult when you're like the face of this
Yeah.
franchise where you don't make these decisions. You don't make
Yeah.
these, like, a lot of people get upset, like, oh, complete my team. Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? But in the interview, and I asked you if you had watched it, Ryan brings up some really good points that I kind of wanted to bring up. One of which was that um, the Marvel Legends like line as a whole is so small compared to like I think they said that Hasbro is like a $4 billion company, right?
Right.
And the assets, like, Dungeons and Dragons is like a really big thing right now. So a lot of, obviously, if that's doing really well, they're going to put a lot of focus into that. Um, the board games, Monopoly, all that brings in a lot of
Mhm.
money, and I think now they're trying to segue into like video games and stuff like that. As a company, you have to understand that a lot of these times, like, their biggest thing is like making profits, right?
Right.
So collect like action figures is not going to be like number one priority on their list. And
Yeah.
also, it takes around 18 months from getting a figure, like the concept, out to like out on store shelves. It takes a long time. So what I was going to get at, Dakota, is asking you, what did you think about when it comes to the line, Marvel Legends, and a lot of people get upset because they're not finishing teams, and there's this and that. I'm one of the beliefs that, imagine if Hasbro finished every team in their first year.
Right.
There's no more. What are you going to buy after, right? Like, you
Yeah.
have to kind of. So what is your take on that? What is your take on, the company as a whole?
Yeah. I mean, I think it people will like remember that it's a business at times when they want to like complain about it, but then they won't remember it when they want to complain about like building teams or things. But like if again, I don't know if this is true or not, but if I'm putting myself in Hasbro's shoes, I'm thinking, like you said, I'm gonna drag out Feral. Like everybody's really wanting Feral. They want to complete their X-Force team. But before we put out Feral, we're going to put out some astonishing X-Men characters. Maybe you're going to pick up some of those. And then we're going
Mhm.
to put out some Excalibur figures. You're going to pick up some of those. You're not going to have the teams completed. But then when we put out Feral, you're going to have 5 other teams that you started that you still need to wait for the next figures that are going to come out this year, next year, 2 years from now. And then you're going to keep, you've got to keep people strung along. Like you said,
Yeah.
otherwise, if they complete everything they want, they're like, oh, okay, not that really any collector actually, I think, is ever done, but you keep them picking up other things, starting other threads that they're going to pull on their Marvel heartstrings, and then
Yeah, I
they're going to want to
totally
finish those
agree.
teams too.
Yeah, and I know what's his name, Dave from displaying model behavior. I actually watched
Mhm.
his channel. You know, it's one of the first ones that I started watching, and he was big on the Marvel Legends, and he actually like kind of stopped collecting because he was so frustrated that the team, they weren't
Mhm.
finishing up these teams. But I'm somebody that, like, I almost prefer that method. That way, I have something to look forward to. Like, I don't,
Yeah,
but then some people are like, no, dude, I need to finish this team like right now.
yeah,
But I think Marvel, the team, they're aware. There's no
yeah,
way you're a corporation and think like, oh, I'm blatantly making this team. Like, I'm not doing this just because I don't know the characters. Or, I think they're aware. I think,
yeah,
like you said, Farrell and Rachel Summers, I think finishing these teams, and people are very happy with those two figures. And I think, um, it gives you like a sense of like, okay, this team's almost done. Maybe next year we're gonna get them. And then you have so many different teams. You have Astonishing X-Men, you have X Factor, you have Excalibur, you have all these different um teams that you're like, okay, well, maybe I only got one, but I got two from this team, and I have one more from this team, and then like
mhm,
overall your teams are coming together. And I'm
yeah,
not somebody that, like, it's weird because when I started collecting, I needed these figs, like, I needed to catch up pretty quickly, but
yep,
I'm totally fine in waiting like that. Later on, there's going to be a couple of releases. I have a comment over here. Obviously, I want to bring up. I think there's more value depending on the kind of collector you are. If you're like me, and I get every X-Men character, whether it's good or not, I value Build-A-Figures immensely. Of course,
mhm,
100%. Yeah, it's like for Shane, I would totally agree that definitely works. For people that collect a lot of characters, the Build-A-Figure, I definitely recommend. But if you don't buy whole waves, then it's definitely not as valuable unless you're good. So, yeah, absolutely. And I'm one of those people that when the last wave I went all in on, I was pretty close at that last one where it was the astonishing beast, and
mhm.
I think I got 4 out of the 6,
Which
I
isn't even a
believe.
build a figure wave though.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the last one was the Secret Wars. I got all of those. I really
There you go.
enjoyed those. But I'm not somebody that I need every fig. But I think for the masses though, like
Mhm.
build a figures don't do anything for me. So if people want them, bring them back. Like it's not
Yeah.
like one of those things where it's like, oh, now that I have a build a figure piece, now I can't get this.
Mhm.
For me, don't substitute weapons, hands, faces for a build a figure piece or the small comic or anything like that. We're gonna bring that up. A lot of people were upset with the small comics, be like, "Hey, this is like a waste of money." But Ryan Ting did mention that the comic itself had no like change in like the pricing of it of
Right.
or adding hands or adding accessories, or it's like literally the comic was either there or not there. It wasn't going to change a single
Right.
thing, so they were just like, let's just throw it in, because a lot of people have this misconception of like, oh shit, you took away a build-a-figure piece to get this comic, like I'm losing value. But he mentioned
Right.
and he clarified that that's not the case.
Mhm.
Let's see. It's understandable and explains why a lot of decisions are made, but I think that's why people get so upset at Hasbro, because another company had the line, we'd have better quality.
I don't know if I agree with that, because like, what if McFarlane had the line? Then you're gonna have, the people complain about his stuff, or if you send it to Mattel and then they're gonna complain about that, they're like, oh, I wish it was Hasbro. Some people probably do wish it was Mattel or McFarlane doing it, but I don't think any line is perfect. Like, I love Mythic Legions. Sometimes you get figures that break with those too. I don't know who's got the best track record of QC. People complain about Mafex, Mezco. I've never had that big of a problem with Hasbro.
Yeah, the thing with Hasbro, it's hard. You
And I'm
have
only doing
these.
Marvel Legends, so I guess I can't speak to like Black Series or Transformers.
It, Hasbro quality, like, especially with the deluxe figures, like a lot of people had this misconception that the deluxe Spider-Man was going to be like import quality Mafex type.
Mhm.
It's like, no, it still feels like a Marvel Legends, right? The plastic,
Yeah.
it's still not going to be, that nice kind of like the articulation to be so clean, everything. Um, at the end of the day, I think, and this is just my personal bias, right? If Jada, you look at Jada, right?
Mhm.
Jada Toys, everybody was praising it, Street Fighter, and they did a really good job with, paint, accessories, articulation, 25 bucks. People were going crazy. They're like, this is it. Jada's number one. What happened a few months ago when Storm Collectibles released their Street Fighter figures for the same price, if not 30 bucks? The same Street Fighter, I think it's Street Fighter Alpha 3. Now
Mhm.
Jada's like on the back burner because now Storm Collectibles are killing it, bro. And honestly, they're doing like, they have a stand, they have better paint, they have better articulation. So can we say that, like, is Marvel Legends quality there? I mean, I don't know, dude. I'm not
Right.
very like, plastic and paint apps and all this. I just know that when I grab one of these figs and I put it in my hand and I look at it and I'm like, this looks awesome, right? It looks like a
Mhm.
toy. That's why I don't
Right.
collect imports, because,
Yep.
or hot toys, right? Because
Yep.
the people that collect hot toys and imports, Mafex, Mesco, I have a couple Mescos. I think that's an awesome. And I'm like, wow, you probably have the best representation of whatever character it is that you
Mhm.
have. But to me, it goes to like such a level that I'm like, and I praise it, right? I'm like, this is like art. This looks like phenomenal. Like a Hot Toys looks like, oh my God, like it looks like the actual character is there.
Mhm.
But I still want a toy to resemble a toy.
I
I don't know.
100% agree.
I don't know if that's hard to explain. I don't know if people will be like, you're crazy, but I want my toys to feel like toys. Like,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things that I don't know, dude. Like, I just, that's how I am, and that's how I enjoy my stuff. Mind you, I don't like the painted pupils, and I do like photoreal printing. I
Mhm.
like to look, with shading. I like all this, but at the end of the day, I like collecting toys.
Yep.
And what's your take on expensive, like Hot Toys, things like that? Because I know you were dabbling in Mafex, right?
Yeah,
You have a couple
I
Mafex?
usually do Mafex with like some of the DC figures that I really want. So like I've got the Mafex, like Superman, like Eradicator, Cyborg Superman, Superboy, and Steel, and
Great
then
figs.
Batman and Nightwing. So like those are super fun, and I really do like those are incredible action figures. But like you said, if I was gonna, I would like to eventually have a hot toy at some point. But like that's
Mhm.
really it. I just want one to have it to be like, okay, I've handled it. I know what it's like. But even like Jordan and I did a live stream, like looking through the website, and I was like, really on here, there's nothing I'm that excited about right now. They have an Azrael Batman that I'd be like, okay, that's one that I would maybe spring for a hot toy if I came into a bunch of money. But like you said, I did a poll last week maybe on like what your favorite Spider-Man was, like Maximum Amazing Fantasy, Renew Your Vows, and
Mhm.
something else. I like Amazing Fantasy because to me it feels like a Marvel Legend. Like I'm sure the Maximum is great too, hits all those great poses. But even if I was going to choose between a Mafex and that Spider-Man, it's like I like collecting Marvel Legends. So it's like I kind of want that, even if objectively the Mafex Spider-Man is probably better. But like you said, I'm collecting toys and I'm aware of it. I think there's some people in the hobby that kind of like I think somebody in our comments was like arguing about like, oh no, I'm not collecting toys, I'm collecting action figures, yada yada yada. All right, but
Mhm.
they're still toys. So
Yeah.
I enjoy that feel. Like I like my Mafexes, but I also like, there's like that like ratchety knee type of thing, and that can be annoying sometimes, and it sometimes really bugs me. But at the same time, it's just kind of like that nostalgic hand feel
Yeah.
that feels like a toy.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. And there's times where I will put a Marvel Legend, I will put a Star Wars Black Series figure toe to toe with an import.
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, imports are getting expensive. Mezcos are like 125. I think that Batman, that Dark Knight, and that Joker.
Hmm.
Mafex are releasing, I think what was announced, I think they're reissuing a version of that Gambit,
Yep.
Iceman, 120 plus for an import. There's no way, dude, because at the end of
No.
the day, for me, it's still a toy, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put $120. And then what I'm gonna now all X-Men, the whole X-Men team is gonna be Mayfix. Now, if you do have that, high praises, bro, because you definitely have a probably the best version
Hmm.
of whatever character. But I'm not gonna spend $1,200 to build out the X-Men animated team. I
Right.
rather get the
And it's
Marvel
going to take you
Legends.
10 years to do it too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So for me, like, they just announced that Iceman. A
Mhm.
lot of people were upset that it looks very clear, that there's no shading, there's no blue. I get that. I totally get that. But then you have options, right? You have the Amazing Friends 3-pack, which wasn't,
Mhm.
it's an old body, right? The shoulders look off.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were upset. And then Mayfex also announced that Iceman that looks really, really good.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I'm not gonna spend over $100 on Iceman. That's just
Yeah.
me,
You're
you
probably
know?
better off getting a Marvel Legend and then paying somebody for like a custom ice slide or something.
What do you feel about customizing your figures now that you bring that up? I know you're mentioning the slide, but are you a big customizer? Do you customize? You paint your figs? You add things to your figs? Wired capes? What do you
Not
do with?
not so much with like Marvel Legends. Like I really love Mythic Legions. Like that scratches my itch of like customizing and everything. Just with the pop and swap aspects of it. So that's more my right. I'm gonna grab a couple figures
Go
here.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Shane, just real quick. Yeah, Mayfix is getting expensive. They don't get the same criticisms that Hasbro that gets. Yeah, it's weird. People that collect Mayfix, personally, I think that it's more niche, more expensive, so they're happier with what they get. Hasbro collectors, I think our community is a little larger just because they're more affordable. Maybe I don't know, and so a lot of people critique Hasbro a little bit more, which is fair. A lot of their the critiques are valid, but Mayfex, they do tend to make some pretty good stuff. I'm not willing to pay the price. And Mayfex, honestly, and SH Figure Arts, they have like this animated look to a lot of their figures, especially the Star Wars ones. So that kind of throws me off a little bit.
Yeah. All right. So for Mythic Legions, this is one figure, Terpiculi, the exact same figure, but with an alternate head. Got more of like a skeleton gorilla.
That looks awesome.
The exact same figure, but with a wings pack. So it's all the same, and Terpiculi head, just on a different skeleton body.
That's sick.
Like that's like each one of those. Like one was one package. The other ones were like just accessory packs plus that same figure. So like very different figures, but I'm able to customize those to make them look totally unique and everything. So it's like I don't really feel like I need to like paint and everything. And I've done that with Mythic Legions. Like I've painted some like heads and everything. But with like 3D sculpt stuff, it doesn't fit quite the same as like a production piece. So I'm like,
Okay.
I'll just leave it with like whatever they do. And like with Mythic Legions too, they're going to keep printing and making new figures that I can pop and swap and make my own.
I think accessory packs are so important. I think that's what like Hasbro's lacking is accessory packs, different heads, different, you know, weapons, different blast effects. And I think Mythic Legions, I know you're a big collector, and I think they're killing it. I think what you get with paint apps, you know, you might not get with articulation as much, but I heard that there's vast improvement in Mythic Legions now versus when they first came out.
For sure. Like especially they're doing like legacies right now, which is like taking old figures that they haven't redone in a while. And it's like you can see what they did. It was like 11 years ago now and what they're doing now. And it's crazy. And they haven't even raised the price that much either. Like they've gone up like their pre-order price
from their website, right? You get a much
it was price. Like $37. Now I think it's 45 or something like that, 43, 46, somewhere in that range. But they're also like soft goods. Everything comes with like 6 sets of hands, alternate head, more weapons than they can hold.
One thing I did notice, Dakota, was that they announced, I don't know if they're already released, that they're releasing I think and mind you, I'm not too familiar with Mythic Legions, but they're releasing two very sought out wave 1 figs. I think one was an ogre.
Yep.
And then the other one was I don't know if he was a knight or something.
Yeah.
But with better articulation, better painting, better. So what is your opinion? But I did notice that the community was pretty upset because, you know, it either devalued what they already had. So some people were kind of like praising it because people were like, I can't get those figures anywhere. Now I have a version of them, a better version, even you can argue. Some people were like, oh, I don't mind because my original ones still have value. What is your personal take on that?
I think I like this idea better than their previous, because previously they would do all stars is what they called it. So like every year they would release like 2 figures that were older, more expensive, more valuable. And surprisingly, which I think is interesting, they did a live stream on this, and like it would apply to Hasbro too, I would assume, where people would really want this like old skeleton or whatever it was, the knight. It's going for like $300 in the aftermarket. They re-release it, the exact same figure. Now you can get it at retail, 35, 50 bucks, whatever it is. That's like the least best selling out of the entire wave, even though the old one is super expensive. But the people that already have it, they don't really need it. There's like that small group of people that want to pay tons of money for it. But then when they put it out, that like the newer stuff is better. So that you don't really want the old figure, because why would I pay the same amount for, you know, a knight that comes with a sword and a shield when I could pay the same price for a knight that comes with soft goods, a sword, a dagger, an axe, a shield, alternate head, 4 more hands. So now they're changing it where they'll take the older figure and they're going to upgrade it, bring it into today's like accessories and like really zhuzh it up, more details in the armor, in the helmets, and the faces, swappable face plates, all those things. So I like that. I understand, like, you know, you want your figures to have value, which we've talked about this a few times on Strong Collectors. Of apparently in our comment section, Marvel Legend collectors don't care about the value of their figures. I do, but with Mythic Legions, I can understand. Like, you know, Otho, you were saying like that knight, he's going for like $500. They re-release it. It's going to hurt the price of that older figure. It's a little different. Like, I think it'll probably hurt the price less because this new one is upgraded and everything. It's not just a straight re-release.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's only going to be valid. Like, that only matters if you were planning on selling that figure. And if you were planning on selling that figure, you probably should have sold that within the last year, because they announced it last year in November that they were going to do it. So that's kind of on you if you were like, oh no, but my value. And so I don't know. It depends. Like, I understand wanting value, but it's not going to hurt it that much.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm somebody that when they re-release something, I don't mind, because at the end of the day, we need new collectors every day. Like, if we want if us toy collectors want this to continue, and we want all these companies to produce, new figs, whatever it is, all types of media. Like, we need new collectors. And
Mhm.
Black Series does it all. They call them like A-listers. Well, they'll re-release like Darth Vader or Stormtrooper, a Mando. Same thing, all these Spideys. McFarlane does it all the time with Batman figs,
Mhm.
because you need to bring new collectors. That's how we stay afloat. That's how we get new product. And I've been reading a lot of articles lately, like kids, they parents don't buy like toys for kids anymore. Like
Mhm.
the main, like, adult collecting is like a huge thing now. And it was all with COVID. Video games, comics, and action figures went up because all of us that grew up in the 90s, 80s, even 70s, um COVID, we were bored, we were figuring things out to do, and like collecting figures, playing video games again. Like, there's this revamp of nostalgic,
Mhm.
whatever it is, comics. And obviously now we're making more money than we did when we were young. So I think if we want this toy collecting community to keep growing, we do have to re-release things. And the Spideys, the Wolverines are always gonna come out, because you're gonna try to cast a wider net, right, for all
Mhm.
these new collectors. But one thing I've noticed, that when I go to Target, Walmart, kids aren't looking at Marvel Legends. Kids aren't
Right.
looking at DC, McFarlane's, even TMNT. Like, most of the TMNT retro, like Playmates or NECA or anything like that, it's like people our age. And it's like, now, is the toy industry going to last? That's one thing that I was going to talk to you about, is 2026. Are you hopeful that Hasbro, all these companies, we see what Super Seven's doing with their prices. I always thought that that was one of those weird companies that I think that their toys way too high for like
Yeah.
the quality. Everything's going up. Do you see Hasbro? Do you see us toy collectors surviving within the next like 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Like, is toy collecting going to be as big as it is now?
I think 5 years, yeah, easy. I think we definitely had that like surge because of COVID, and I think that's where a lot of the like independent companies, like post COVID, really like came onto the scene. I think we're gonna see less success in those kind of things. Like, I'm thinking like Animal Warriors of the Kingdom is a really cool one. I really like those. Um, I don't know if stuff like if they hadn't released when they did originally and they were trying to do like a fresh Kickstarter now, I think that'd be a lot harder to get off the ground because there's so many things that are like pulling collectors funds and things are getting more expensive, like you said.
Yeah.
But like we just talked to Corsair Creations, they're doing like skeleton pirates, kind of like a Cthulhu pirate type of thing. And I think that's like different enough, but there's not that many different like niches of action figures that haven't been tapped already that
Mhm.
you're going to be able to create into. So I think that's where it's like Hasbro probably going to be just fine for the next 5, probably 10 years. Reluctant Adult Podcast, they have a clip from their longer episodes talking about how like this is the last generation of toy collectors. Like Kiffintron in the chat is probably one of the youngest collectors I know. Like we have a few like kids that'll come on to like strong collectors and like comment and like do call in shows with us. Like I think like 15 years old, but I think that's getting more and more rare. I guess Lynn's is another example of like a younger collector. She's in college, but college age collectors is you're not really getting into like kids very often anymore. So as we all get older, it'll probably start to die off then. But I think the base of collectors right now is going to carry it for quite a while.
Yeah, I agree. And it's rare to see younger collectors, just because, to me, Marvel and Star Wars, I think it was a little bit more prevalent. I mean, Star Wars has media coming out, and
Mhm.
Disney Plus and all that, and X-Men with X-Men 97. I think generally, and this is just speculation, that most of that audience are older, that grew up
Mhm.
watching the 90s X-Men. And I think Spider-Man just announced that they're going to be doing something with that 90s Spider-Man animated series. Um, nostalgic feelings are strong. Like, you
Yep.
know, you look at something, and I think that's what prompts us to buy things and to watch, to, you know, to collect or do that. It brings you back to a simpler time. And I think they, you know, I think that these industries are aware of that. I think they're taking advantage to a point. I think they understand that we have, you know, more money, that if you increase a price of a Luke Skywalker from 20 to 25 to 30, and it's the right Skywalker, the right Luke Skywalker, people are going to pay that, you know, because
Mhm.
we're adults. And but it's going to get to the point, and that's what I'm afraid of with the next couple of years, where people are going to draw the line. You know, what is too much for a Marvel Legend? Is 30 too much for a Marvel Legend? Is 35? And that all is dependent on us, you know, the
Mhm.
consumer. Like, and you're in, you know, whatever it is that you like. Would I ever pay? I never thought I would pay $50 for a Marvel Legend, and I
I
did
was
for
just
that
gonna say,
Maximum
yeah.
Spider-Man, right? So, is there such a thing of like, okay, I'm out of the game now? I think personally, no, unless it becomes like a ridiculous amount, right? But
Yeah.
I
I
think
think it
we're
just
just
becomes
gonna
more of
start
like a shifting of like
shift
if Marvel Legends
exactly
was gonna be like, "Oh, we're $50 standard Marvel Legend," you're probably gonna be like, "I think I'm just gonna go Mafex." Like, sure, I'm not
at
gonna
that
get as
point.
it's gonna be
Yeah,
a better figure, and then, they're not gonna have as much volume, but you're not gonna be able to collect at that volume anyway when they're $50 per figure anyway.
correct,
So
exactly.
I think
Yeah,
that's more of where, like, collectors would just, like, find something new to collect. Mythic Legions, they're pretty awesome. I love them. Check them out, but again, like, you would probably just go up to those, like, higher end things or, like, I can't remember what the new, company is that's doing those Hulks that look really
oh,
good. The
yeah, we're gonna bring that
Okay.
up
Yeah.
in a bit. So I just wanted to show you real quick. We're talking obviously Marvel Legends, and I did want to bring up some slides and a couple of things. This is one of the packs that I talked to you earlier about. I think the Gamerverse is awesome. Obviously, they cannot,
Mhm.
you know, like brand it as Marvel versus Capcom due to licensing issues, I'm sure. But what was your take on the Gamerverse, you know, Marvel versus Capcom characters, this Wolverine, the Silver Samurai? I know that there's, you know, people that are upset that there's the Silver Samurai is lacking paint, that there's some things that are lacking, but this Wolverine, a lot of people call this a hostage pack. What was your personal take on this pack?
I think the whole Gamerverse as a whole was pretty awesome, and I think overall, like, super well received. Um, this one specifically, I think there was obviously the like, oh, the Wolverine's too big, it's too
Yeah,
whatever. The thing I liked about these like two packs and like everything like with this Wolverine, it's like they didn't just be like, okay, here's the new Wolverine and he's got like slightly different this or a little bit of it, like this feels like a new Wolverine. And I don't have it in hand yet. I got a huge shipment of action figures coming in next week, and that'll be part of
nice.
it. But like I'm excited for something new. Like I've had the old Wolverines or have even when they've been updated, it's like, yeah, it's got a diaphragm joint instead of whatever it was before. But
Hmm.
like this one, I'm excited to be like, okay, brand new, top to bottom, everything. And I think it looks awesome. I'm happy with the bigger Wolverine, bigger claws. I like the look of the mask. I could care
It
less
looks
about Silver
cool.
Samurai. He still looks
Yeah.
cool though.
Yeah, the Silver Samurai, I'm just lucky that I don't have that retro carded one.
Mhm.
Because so this just works perfectly for me because I don't have that Silver Samurai, so it just works. But a lot of people do like that retro card Silver Samurai. So a lot of people are selling and keeping the Wolverine. I really, like I said, I really like I haven't opened it. I am going to do a review on all this, but I think these packs are cool. Now, do I
Mhm.
think they did it purposely as two packs to sell
Oh,
better?
yeah.
Absolutely. That's a
Yeah.
tactic. I don't think the Silver Samurai would have sold anywhere near. And I think they're, you know, reusing that mold and trying to get more money out of it. But I
Yeah.
much rather that because just for me personally, this worked out perfectly because I
Yep.
don't have a Silver Samurai. So that actually kind of worked out for me.
Right.
What do you think about this? The Captain America Venom.
This one is probably the one I was most excited about for the Gamerverse. I love my 20th anniversary Captain America. Um,
Do you have
but
the Secret Wars one?
I do not know. I didn't the only
It's a good
Secret
one.
Wars figure I got was the Iron Man.
The Iron Man.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
with the
So I'm
skates.
that's why I got that one. If it didn't come with skates, I probably would have passed.
But yeah, this a lot of people are praising this Captain America.
Yeah, again, because like I like my 20th, but this one felt different enough that it felt worth getting.
Mhm.
And even same with Venom. I have more Venoms than I know why I even have them, but it seems like every time Hasbro does a Venom, they do such a good job that it makes me want it. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to get this because I had from one of the lots that I got, there was somebody had customized a movie Venom to be a blue Venom. And I
No
thought that
way,
was
for
cool.
real?
So I kept it. So now I've got the official Hasbro blue Venom too.
Yeah. Yeah, so you did pick this one up as well?
Yep. This one's on its way
Nice.
too.
Heck yeah, absolutely. And then this Juggernaut. So, I've the MCU collector just recently did a review on this Juggernaut, and he was comparing the size of this Juggernaut to the 2-pack with Colossus,
Hmm.
and this towers. I mean, I'm not saying towers like it's like double the size, but this is
Right.
huge. I like my big boys. I like my big. I like my. It sounded off, but I like big figs. I like you get something a big chunk of plastic and it feels nice. This looks awesome. What did you think about the Juggernaut?
Yeah. This one, I was kind of like, oh, okay, like I have a Juggernaut already. But then the more I looked at it, the more I was just like, nah, this is way too cool. And I was texting Ryan Ting when this came out, and he was like, oh yeah, he was wanting to like make this like a maximum reveal or something like that, but it's not an A+ list character, but that's the kind of like giant figure that it is, that
Yeah.
it feels maximum because it's huge.
Yeah, and then the texture, like if you look at the I don't know if you're able to see, but the helmet has like texture, the uniform, the piece that is like texturized.
Hmm.
I think somebody mentioned, I think MCU collector mentioned like even in the details in the hands, like it's like very detailed. So it's awesome. It looks really cool.
I am curious to know like what else
Might be too
could we
big.
do with this Juggernaut? Like, did they just make a one and done action figure, or are we gonna like reuse parts from this for something else? Or like, could we do the um, Juggernaut Colossus look? You'd have to change the arms out, but maybe, I
Maybe.
don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe, but I think this fig is so cool, so that's a pickup. Now we're gonna go a little bit to the X-Men 97 wave. I don't have the
Mhm.
whole wave here. I did put this one because to me, I grew up watching X-Men animated series, and to me, this is like my mind's eye of Logan,
Yeah.
wearing, this outfit. And I did pre-order this because I do have that one that came in the with the saber tooth.
Yep.
But that's more like comic-y. This is more the
Mhm.
animated series. I like this dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like, I
I
picked this
agree.
up.
No, yeah, I haven't pre-ordered him yet just because I think he's not quite the hot seller that's gonna like sell out immediately. But he is one that I'm definitely gonna get. I have the Sabretooth 2-pack one too, and
Oh,
that was
so
kind of
great.
my like, I was like, oh, this will work as this Logan for me. But now that this is coming out, if I had it with it's in storage. But when I get back to storage, I'll probably sell off that old Wolverine and be like, this is my
This
street
is gonna be
clothes
the one.
Wolverine. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Cable. What you think about this Cable?
I did order him. He's I think part of that shipment that's on its way. Very excited for this Cable. This is exactly my mind's eye of Cable.
Right?
I'd had I think it was the Sasquatch wave, and I was like, this one's cool too, but it's definitely more like comic based, which is fine. Like I usually prefer comic based figures, but like growing up with the X-Men animated series, this is how Cable looked. So I was very happy to get this, and he'll go in with my comic display.
Yeah, and with like he's a pretty good sized fig too. So for the price, I think it was the same price as all the other ones in the wave.
Yep.
He's pretty hefty. He comes with these two weapons, an extra pair of hands, blast effects. I know we've seen those blast effects a million times. But yeah, dude, this was a 100% pickup for me. I do have that Cable, the one that resembles the Marvel versus Capcom one. I do really like that one too. It actually made the top 5 of me of that year. I think that was 2023 or 2024, 2023. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I definitely picked this up. Now these 2-packs. I haven't watched X-Men 97 season 2. I haven't even started,
What
to
are
be
you
honest.
doing, man? Why are
I
you
know,
talking to
dude.
me? You go watch the show.
I've actually been trying to catch up to. I've been rewatching the animated series. I actually have it up on right now, because I want to come into it like fresh with everything, and just with work, it's been very busy. But I've heard nothing but great things about it.
Mhm.
But this is actually a pack that was released, and from my understanding, no spoilers, please, that there's an episode. I don't know if it's the finale of season 2, but that they wear their retro uniforms, and I thought that
Mhm.
was so cool. So this was like a pre-order for me 100%, just because I haven't watched it, but it brings me back to like a retro
Yeah.
uniform. Did you pick these? Did you find any need to pick these up, or?
Um, I did order the Cyclops and Jean Grey. I
Oh
think
yeah,
that one looked really
that one
cool.
was so cool.
I don't think I have a Jean Grey in my collection right now. But that Cyclops I think looks really good. The Storm and Wolverine is tempting. I know some people are like very opinionated on Wolverine's colors. I've never really cared about the brown costume, so that doesn't do anything for me. This look for Storm is really cool, and the old 2-pack that came with Thunderbird is, I think, like a top 10 female of all time figure. So I am curious to see how this upgrade is, but it's just like, do I need to pay the 2-pack to get it? And it's a Pulse exclusive. If I could get it from New Meta, I probably would have got this, but um, order only from Pulse, I'm going to pass on it for now, but I might regret it because of that Storm.
Yeah, I pre-ordered this just because I don't think it's gonna sell out for sure. I think the Cyclops and the Jean Grey they have a better chance of selling out than this one. I don't know if it'll go clearance either. I just don't know, but I just thought it was
Mhm.
too cool. I picked both them up,
Maybe
and
like if there's a Black Friday sale or something like
yeah,
that.
which likely they are. I think every Black Friday they do a sale. So here we have the strong guy, and we're talking about re-releasing or reissuing build a figures. Now there is some differences from my understanding. I don't have
Mhm.
this build a figure. I think it comes with an additional head sculpt that wasn't in the previous, and some different paint apps. What do you think about the? Do you have strong guy or?
I do have Strong Guy. He is one of my favorite build a figures. This one is mainly tempting because of the barbell. I like that
Yeah,
accessory.
that's an awesome accessory.
Um,
Yeah.
the heads, I like the head on the build a figure more than I like these 2 heads. Thumbs up is fun. I was reading somebody, I think on Facebook, was talking about how this isn't even a comic accurate look. Like the white X is more just based off of like a Google search, which is like
Yeah,
a
and
miscolored like comic image, but like
really?
that like only happens in like 2 panels in the whole run. Like it just didn't get colored in correctly or something. So
Gotcha.
that was like, I'm not going to be that upset about it. I never read those comics. I like the look of that team. Makes me want to read
Mhm.
the comics, but yeah, for this one I was like, it's cool, and I definitely would be all over it if I didn't have Strong Guy already. But since I already have him, I'm just going to probably stick with the one I've got.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this is cool. And at that price, I think this one was 39.99. Not terrible.
Mhm.
So yeah, I also pre-ordered this. Okay, so Doom. This is I'm not too familiar. I think there's a portion where Doctor Doom gets what's his name? His powers.
Doctor Strange,
The
like becomes
Doctor
Sorcerer
Strange
Supreme.
becomes Sorcerer Supreme. Yes. So is this something that you were interested in? See, I didn't have a Doctor Doom. Now this was announced, I think, before the re-release or reissue of the retro carded Doctor Doom, but I wanted like a classic
Mhm.
looking Doctor Doom. Did you pick this up? Are you interested in
No,
this?
I haven't gotten around to reading that story. It looks interesting, and
Mhm.
I think the colors with like Doom with the red cape looks cool, and like I like the idea, but it's not one that I was really needing. And like I said, I've got the Cabal 3-pack for now, so
Mhm.
that'll be my Doctor Doom until I something else comes along that tickles my fancy a little more, or if I sell off that Doctor Doom and need another one.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It wasn't for me. All right, so a lot of people were happy with, Rachel Summers and,
Mhm.
finishing off, part of this team. Um, this is a huge, I think, n- this is one of the best releases in a while, and I think I might be wrong. This might be all new.
I
I've
think
never seen those fire wings
right.
ever before. I mean, the hands are probably reused,
Yeah,
but
I would assume the legs too. I don't think there's any spikes on those.
yeah, but yeah, the
But yeah,
spikes.
anything with spikes is probably brand new.
Yeah. Did you pre-order this? Did you pick this up?
No, another like I've never read these Excalibur comics. I've read the more like Krakoa era Excalibur. But
Okay.
Rachel doesn't really look like that in Excalibur, so not one that I really needed, but definitely one that I very much appreciate how much effort they put into it.
Yes, I agree. If it's something also that I'm like, "Oh, I don't need it," but I appreciate, like,
Mhm.
what they did for this, I'm always happy for when people get what they want. Feral, this was also a big one. I know it
Yeah,
uses the, what is it? The body the same body as the,
probably
Tigress?
Wolfsbane.
Or
Maybe
yeah,
I
or
could be
probably.
Tigress too. Tigress.
But this is also one that a lot of people were waiting for.
Mhm.
She also finishes up that X-Force team. Um, I think she looks badass. I think she's awesome, articulates looks like she's gonna articulate well. Did you end up picking this up too or no?
No, another one that
Yeah, you passed on, yeah.
wasn't for me. I also have not read those X Force comics. I don't really know Farrell that much, which I was surprised. She was, I think, when I was talking to New Meta, I think she was maybe the hottest seller, or maybe it was Rachel Summers. But
Yeah, both of these
yeah,
sold out on Big Bad, and I think Hasbro pulls pretty quick too. Now, if these
next,
woulda came
yeah.
instead of the comic book with a Build-A-Figure now, is that gonna would that have changed your mind?
It, it probably only would have, just because like they would be the hard ones to like I would have known that these probably would have sold out. Um, so I probably
And
would
you
have
probably
ordered them
woulda
for that. But
gotten.
then I would have also been happy to, like, they probably would have retained their value to
Yeah,
sell
for sure.
afterwards as just the figures too.
Yeah, for sure. How about this, astonishing,
Beast, I
Beast?
did. I'm
Yeah,
definitely
dude,
gonna
it's
get
so good.
Beast. Astonishing X-Men. If you haven't read it, my by far number one favorite X-Men story of all time. It's so good. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be completing that team. I've got the other, like, Wolverine, Cyclops, and Emma Frost.
Yeah.
I would
That Emma
assume
Frost, the old is that a good fig? The one that came out a while back, the
it's it's
astonishing
fine.
one?
I think it came with
'Cause I
the
really
Chad Build a
like that
figure.
Cyclops and that Wolverine. They're really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and
Um,
Emma Frost is more just like you need her to complete the team. Like, you're not going to get her in any crazy poses, but she's okay. I'm excited for the X-Men 97 Emma Frost. I ordered two of her, one for me and one for my niece. So excited for that to come
nice,
too.
nice. Yeah, this is gonna be a pickup for sure. I love this beast. I think it's one of two in the whole wave that has two different face head sculpts in it.
Mm,
So I really enjoy this. I don't think they'll ever use this because look at the skull. I think that uniform that's not painted. I think that's sculpted in because
yeah,
it's hard to
I think
tell,
so.
but you could see the fur on the top, and
Hmm.
then you have the uniform. So I don't see they could reuse it for something, but I think this looks so cool.
Yeah, and we've got the leaks of Colossus and Kitty Pryde 2 pack, so maybe we'll see that at Comic Con, or
Oh,
that might be
really?
a
That
little
leaked
quick.
out?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been on the leaks for a little while now, so
The leak
I
list,
don't know if
right?
it'll be part of New York Comic Con or not. That seems pretty quick to be like a back-to-back astonishing reveal.
Dakota, I was gonna mention to you because Ryan brought this up. What is your personal opinion on leaks? And
I would I would
I'm
love to
gonna
have I I've thrown it out there a few times to Ryan about coming on and chatting, but he hasn't taken me up on the offer yet, but eventually I'm sure he'll come on sometime. But I would love to have a longer conversation with him about leaks, because to me, I think overall I like leaks for, like, me planning my budget of like how many figures coming out this year am I going to like really be crazy about. And we don't know all the figures either. Like, some of them are still a surprise. Um, but then that does also inform my selling, because when we found out that Venom Pool was leaked to be coming out as a deluxe, it's like, okay, I'm going to take my $90 $100 Venom Pool, sell it off, buy the $40 Venom Pool when it comes out. I
Mhm.
still think I like the Build a Figure better, but I like the deluxe enough that that's fine. So that's going to help. Like, if I was somebody that had the 3 pack Daredevil, I'd probably sell that, because I know on the leaks list there's supposed to be a red Daredevil coming in the Secret Wars wave, which also it's a red Daredevil. So if that one's going for $100, you're going to get another red Daredevil in the future. But anyway,
Yeah.
for
See,
me, that's super helpful.
yeah. I could definitely see that, and I understand why, and that makes total sense, and Shane was mentioning too, that it sets you up for success because now you can sell something off, something new is coming
Mhm.
out. Me personally, I'm not a fan of leaks, but it doesn't make or break me.
Yeah.
I like being surprised. I like watching a stream and, you know, the team comes out with something that I had no idea and I'm like, "Oh my god, no way."
Hmm.
I think nobody what was a lot there's always rumors, right? And displaying
Hmm.
model behavior, his leak list is like almost like immaculate every
Hmm.
time he hits. But every once in a while, and the Black Series does this too, where things they never get leaked, and then when they get announced, everybody's like, "Oh my god, no way, this is
Right.
awesome!" And Ryan Ting did mention that leaks like hurt a lot, like they hurt the company, like the morale. People get upset because they put in a lot into like marketing or the
Hmm.
idea of like, you know, a stream and this and that, and when something gets leaked, it like really hinders. Like there's like a whole process on leaks, and I think if it does more good than bad, cool. But if it really hurts the company as a whole, if leaks are like really not good, they're great for content for sure.
Hmm.
They're really good for other things for selling. But me personally, I like to you know, be surprised when something gets announced. So I actually wanted to bring that up to you and
Yeah.
see listen. Every collector has their own different takes on things, right? You know, you mentioned that you didn't hate plastic free packaging.
Hmm.
You enjoy leaks, or you know, they kind of help you figure out what you're going to sell and stuff like that, and that's pretty much the why we collect different things, and we all have our different ways of collecting and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
I do think
um
with leaks too that like you're not gonna really. Again, I've never worked at Hasbro, so I don't know. But like, I understand like the surprise getting spoiled a little bit, but usually like they're gonna be like, oh, there's gonna be a Black Widow coming. I have no idea what the Black Widow is. We're all gonna speculate on what the Black Widow will look like. But then when the reveal happens, that's more of the like, oh, it's that
so
type of thing. So
these
it's
are these two right here are a perfect example. They
right.
mentioned you know, a Daredevil. Now I still don't think this is the Secret Wars Daredevil.
No. Right.
And they mentioned a Black Widow or a White Widow
Hmm.
potentially, but they had no idea. A lot of people like this Daredevil. He's part of like a comic run that was really good. I've
Hmm.
never read it. I don't know if you're familiar. I know you read a lot of comics.
No, I've really only read like all the way through like Chip Zdarsky's more modern Daredevil stuff. I haven't gone back. There's a few like volumes that I had as a kid that I read, but I've never read this specific story.
A lot of people praise it, that it's a really good
Yeah.
a story, and a lot of people like this. Um, Daredevil also, there's a lot of potential. You know, you could do a lot with this type of sculpt. You know, you can
Yeah.
change head sculpts, and a lot of people liked it. The Black Widow, it also uses the Target exclusive that was released, I think, in 2023,
Hmm.
which is a spectacular um, mold, and also to me, I don't have that Walmart exclusive Black Widow that went on deep discount. Not
Hmm.
deep, super deep, but it went on discount. Um,
It's still
I-
probably like $10. I mean, that's
do you
they went
think
pretty
this
deep.
one would go on discount too? Do you think this won't sell as well because that one didn't sell well, or what do you
Um,
think? Did
I
you?
do think she's one of the like least desired out of the wave, just because like we've had the other one, and there's been a few other Black Widows more recently. Like I think most people probably want the black suited Black Widow, just because if they don't know the comics as well, that one
Oh, but
looks more like the
that
movies.
comic cover is a
It is an
classic.
iconic
Yeah.
cover, yeah. But like for me, like I was never on the hype train of that Black Widow. Like I don't get me wrong, I'm glad that females are getting better articulation. Single joints and pins on females, doo garbage, get rid of it. This is way better. But I like the Walmart one that I have with the jetpack and the jacket. Like
The
to
jacket,
me,
yeah.
I'm happy with that one, so I don't need the upgrade. So I think that's also where people are kind of like, oh, if I have the old one, I don't necessarily need this. But if you don't have the old one, this is a great one to get.
You're saying that the Target one was a little bit overhyped, you mentioned,
To me,
or?
I don't know. I was posing it around. I was like, this ab crunch doesn't really do it for me. Like
Dude, that's not
it's
listen,
okay.
I don't wanna get on your bad side. I know your tempers are
We're gonna
hot,
break up now too.
we're gonna break up too. When you mentioned the X-Men '97 Wolverine to me, I was like, "Dakota, we are on the verge of putting the gloves on, and there's no way," because I remember you mentioning that you got that in hand and you were like, "Eh."
I don't like that one at all.
Dude, that Wolverine, that this Wolverine to me is arguably, I mean, I still think that the Gamerverse one, Marvel vs.
Mhm.
Capcom, Wolverine is spectacular, but I remember I had to message you immediately after watching that video, and I was like, "Are you kidding me, dude?" But
Yeah.
everybody's entitled to their opinions. That's why we
I didn't even
collect.
try to sell that. Like, I just took it right back to Target and I was like,
You
I don't want
returned
this.
it for
I
oh my
just
god,
returned it straight up. I don't even think
this
I stole
guy.
it.
But they just reissued they re-released this, right? I think
Yeah.
recently. So that's
I was
cool
definitely
because
kicking
this was
myself
going
for
for like
returning it.
60, $70, no?
Yep.
Or like $80?
I think it was almost up to 80 at least. Yeah. I was like, dang it, I should have held on to that because yeah, I couldn't get rid of it fast enough.
Oh man, that's the a lot of people do like
Yeah. I
the
like the
VHS
VHS better.
Wolverine. Yeah, it does have the longer yeah, it's a good one for sure. Silver Surfer. So I don't have that Walgreens exclusive. I do have my Galactus, which
Mhm.
I haven't opened. um, so I don't have a Silver Surfer on display. So this is something that I picked up immediately. Now
Mhm.
I know people were upset that it's still in that old kind of like that buck where the shoulders are kind of off. It only comes with the four pairs of hand, nothing really
Mhm.
new. But it looks pretty clean. The silver looks pretty clean. So this was a pre-order for me. I locked this in, but not everybody
Mhm.
was happy
Yeah, I
with
think
it.
definitely with being a Silver Surfer, like he does everything you need him to be.
Mhm.
Um, for me, like I have the HasLab one. I'm pretty sure I got rid of the Walgreens one. I also have the like early Hasbro. I think it was like a Toys R Us exclusive or something. Same like mold as the Toy Biz one, but that's actually pretty cool too. He has like double pegs, I think, for his surfboards. It
No,
makes
that
him
is
feel more
cool.
sturdy there. The Toy
Yeah.
Biz one was magnets on the board, which is a fun gimmick, but it
Makes
never
that
really
work.
like posed as
Work?
well.
No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, this one looks cool. I was shocked. I've been saying for a while, I expect them to do, maybe they still will, a Fantastic Four retro card with a
Yes,
Silver Surfer
yes, I've
on the
been
Renew Your Vows body because I think
yes,
he'd be a
I
great one for Toes.
absolutely yeah, I do agree, and I actually thought that they were gonna do with the release of the movie, like a new comic style Fantastic Four,
Mhm.
all new figs and
Yep.
nothing. Like, I was like, I'm still hoping that they're gonna release something because I don't have any of those retro collection, Fantastic Fours. I don't have a thing. I don't
Mhm.
have anything, and I know
Those were
you
on deep
mentioned,
discount too.
dude, that you have that Walgreens exclusive thing, and that is
Yeah.
like top 10 Marvel Legends of all time. I
Yeah.
100% agree. Like the wash, the head sculpts, everything is amazing on that. So I'm hoping that they release. Do you think that there rumors of a new like Mr.
I think
Fantastic,
I think the only rumors of more Fantastic Four figures are rumors of more MCU, like for Doomsday or something like that.
Doomsday?
But like, it's the Fantastic Four. Eventually, they're gonna have more comic figures, so
Let's
it'll
hope. Yeah,
happen.
it should. What do you think about this two pack Deathbird? A lot of people were very happy with that. And Gladiators
I'm
a re-release, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think
Or
he's
it's
updated because I think
he's
he's
an update,
pinless
right?
now. I
Yeah.
think anyway. I'm not 100% sure.
This looks
Um,
pretty good.
yeah, I'm shocked that you found a straight on image of the box because
Yeah.
when they were released, everything was just
They're like, "We gotta
crooked.
show." Yeah, we can't this is an empty box.
Right, especially
Yeah,
when
we
they
put it
went,
there
like
and go.
you probably have it on here, but, like, back to back with the Punisher 2-pack, and it's like that one's kitted out, loaded with stuff, and then this one's like
Loaded, yeah.
2 hands and a head. It's
Yeah.
like, this comes with less pieces
I'm
than
sure they
the
spent a
Rogue
lot of
2-pack.
money, yeah, on that Deathbird. I think she
Yeah.
utilizes the same legs as, who was it? I think the legs they seem like they've been reused. Um, but the Deathbird looks awesome, dude.
Oh, yeah, it looks
That
great.
cape also, I think the Gladiator is now pinless, comes with a
Mhm.
different head sculpt. I think
Yeah.
that looks really clean. That cape, the detail looks really, really nice.
Right. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad they did go the extra mile and, like,
Is
really
this something you
put
would
the
pick up?
detail. I don't know Deathbird really, so, like, for that, I'm like, it looks cool, but like I said,
Not for
bare
you, kind of
bones
thing?
in the stuff, so if it was on sale or if I got it, like, loose in a lot, I probably would end up keeping it just because I'm sure it is a super cool figure, but
Yeah.
with having to, like, pick and choose what I'm gonna be collecting and, Marvel Legends, Mythic Legions, sprinkle in some Mafexes, it's like this one, I'll save my $50 and put it somewhere else.
Yeah, and I think, that Gladiator it uses the Drax body mold, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe. I mean, maybe like the torso and stuff.
Maybe I'm not sure.
Yeah, I would think
I
that
never
the
picked that
Drax
one up too, but it
would
was
have
the
had
Drax.
pins.
Yeah, yeah. That is true. So yeah,
Was that like
here
kind
he
of
is.
like the Drax 2-pack?
Yeah, the 2-pack. Yeah,
I thought that one was way bigger, like more hulking. I thought that
it
was what
might
the
have been.
Champion was reusing.
Actually, you're right. No, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, I'm thinking Champion, the one that recently released. Yes, yes. The Punisher. So, did you ever play this game growing up?
I, not to keep bringing up the bearded bozo, but just played it like a couple months ago with Jordan when we were visiting him before we hit the road again. That was the first time I'd ever played it. So
It's a fun game, dude. It's a fun game, and it was recently released with the Marvel versus Capcom
that's how we played. Yeah.
retro. Yeah. So it's a cool, dude. This comes in packed. Now I think this Nick Fury and the Punisher. A lot of people were with the blues. They're like, but you know what? It stays loyal to the game. That's what it looks like. I think it looks great. This is going to be an absolute pickup for me. Now this retails for $62.99, I believe. So
Yeah,
that's like a $13 increase from that Bob and did you ever pick up the Bob and the Deadpool? It was like the San Diego Comic-Con that came
that was
loaded out with
such a good value.
Oh, such a good value. So yeah, man, that's and I think there's a lot of things here that were in that pack.
Yeah, I mean that sucks that they
case,
raised the price like that. That's terrible.
That's a big jump.
$30, more than $30 per figure. Yeah, that's if I didn't get that new meta discount, I probably would. I don't know. Like I did really want this, so like I maybe still would have paid it even if I didn't get a discount. But
yeah,
the discount helped.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is the one that reuses that body. This is so what's his name? I forget.
Star Fox.
Star Fox is Thanos' brother, right? Correct?
Yes.
And Champion. This is cool. It's quirky. I don't need it, but I appreciate it. I appreciate when it's something. It's like this is cool for those that really want this. I'm like that is cool.
If it had been a single packed Star Fox, I probably would have picked him up. But yeah, Champion, I don't know anything. He looks kind of cool.
He does look cool.
If I had more displays and everything, like especially being in the bus, like on top of price increases, like I've got to be super picky of what I'm getting. So like, a deep discount would make me consider it, but like I don't have the room to be getting everything. So
yeah,
this is one that I had to pass on to. But if they ever do put out a single packed Star Fox, I probably would get it.
Yeah, I think it might go on sale. I don't think this is like super desirable, but you never know. So something that sold out right away, and I don't think will ever go on on sale, is this Mystique. So Mystique is one of those tricky ones. I don't own a Mystique. The VHS one I never got because that VHS, what was that, 2022? 2021?
Yeah, I think so. Probably 2022.
I only got the Cyclops from that whole, and I regret it. The Cyclops is awesome. I regret not picking up more, but listen, good things come to those who wait. Now this, I believe this is also pinless. So
yeah,
she looks really good. I was lucky enough to secure a pre-order when this came out for Target, another Target exclusive. What is your opinion on exclusives, Walmart exclusive, Target exclusives?
We've got full episodes and TikToks talking about that. I think I think exclusives are necessary if you want your toys to stay in stores, because like you said, this is sold out. That looks great. Like if you're Hasbro, you want that to happen for your relationship with Target, like because otherwise you've got those MCU figures that are sitting there until they go on clearance, and they're still going to sit there from like that Spider-Man and Iron Man and Captain America from like Legacy or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah.
So like with this, when it sells out fast, Target can be like, okay, it is actually worth carrying these toys because people do want at least some of them.
Yeah.
Exclusives, like this was kind of a hot take episode we had done of like, if it's a Comic-Con exclusive, like San Diego Comic-Con, if you didn't go to Comic-Con, I say you don't deserve to get your action figures. Because I think there was a lot of people that just had this like mentality of like, oh, it's gonna, like the extra stock is gonna go on Hasbro Pulse, and then when it sold out, like, everybody was so mad. And it's like, it was meant for the convention. Like they had a few extras that they sold out. Like that's just how that works. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
Which it does suck when it's like Shauna, and she was a exclusive before and she's exclusive again. I think that was just bad planning on Hasbro's part. I also think people's got to chill out. Like if you miss this on the pre-order, it'll be on store shelves. Like I wouldn't stress too much about like you'll never find this.
Yeah, I think people stress out about the
Yeah.
Professor Xavier, and then when
Yeah.
that Jean Grey came out, and they're peg warming. But I
Yep.
don't know. I think Mystique might sell out a little quicker than
I
those
do
two.
think
I
she
don't know.
probably will sell better than than Professor X, but I don't think she's going to be like a crazy, like people are not going to be loading up on Mystiques because
You
she's
know
a
what?
character that like we've had several times
Yeah,
before.
correct.
So it's a retro cards. Maybe she's still going to be popular, I think. But I think, and that's the thing too, is like engage in the community, like make friends in different areas. Like
People help
you
out.
go look around your area, I'll go
Yeah.
look around my area. We can send it to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And on one hot take that I do have is that did I lose you? Are you still there?
I'm still here. I look frozen, but I'm
You
here.
do look frozen. Is that I totally agree with an exclusive should be exclusive to that location. I do think that if you go to Comic-Con, any type, San Diego, New York, and there's something that is it's exclusive to that Comic-Con, you should be the only ones that are able to obtain that because you were there. So it kind of and that's coming from somebody that I missed out on the Obi-Wan and Anakin 2-pack, the Black Series exclusive. That was like a whole thing, and that looks phenomenal.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I do think it's hard, bro, because the community is gonna be pissed at me if they watch this. Like,
Oh
what
yeah,
bullshit, dude? That's you're full of shit. It should be out for everybody. But I'm like, were you there though?
right. And
Okay,
like I
how about this? I
there's
don't think they should
go ahead.
make. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I don't think they should
Mm,
make like crucial figs, like things that are
yeah,
like that Obi-Wan and Anakin. That's like a super desirable thing. Maybe do something like quirky, something
but is
that's
there not
like
already Obi-Wans and Anakins out there?
there is, and they just re-released those versions, and but it just comes with the actual figure and the lightsaber. This one has so many things, but
Okay.
yes, they did re-release those, but those weren't announced at the time.
Mhm.
Nobody knew that if those were going to come out or not. There was like leaks, but that wasn't like confirmed 100%. But to me, like those two characters are like big characters, right? And like that was the best version of those. When for me, you know who does exclusives pretty well is Mattel with their Hammond collection. They had that exclusive last year where or 2 years ago where it was a T-Rex with the porta potty where like they
Oh yeah.
that one. This year it was well, this one was kind of shady because it was the green Rex with the guy in the suit and
Mhm.
in the T-Rex suit. So
At
like
the
quirky things
con,
like that
yeah.
at the con. So
Uh-huh.
those things like I'm okay, that works. But when it's like that Snap 3-pack, like th- dude, I couldn't get that, and I don't have any
Right.
of those, you know. So to me, I'm
I
like,
just wonder how
but
many people like before that was announced, like if you would ask like name your top 10 most essential displays, I don't think that a Savage
Savage
Land
Land.
display is going to be on most people's most desired ever. Like I get they put out the Kazar and Zabu, and then it's like, okay, well, the last one we need is Shauna. Now she's exclusive in a 3-pack again. That does suck. I don't think they should have chosen Shauna for
Mhm.
that. But if you've got your, comic regular Jim Lee looking rogue, you don't need the Savage Land looking rogue.
Yeah, Dakota, but
They
we
already
want what
have
we can't have, and
that.
I'm
I think
pissed
that's
off. That's literally what
I
it
think
is,
that's
dude.
what like drove the like
Yeah, yeah.
desire
Nobody
up is
was
that you couldn't get it.
exactly, exactly. And then people are like, "What the hell?" And it's like if 3 months ago you would have asked people, "Is this like what you want, like super desirable?" People would be like, "No, hell no, I don't want that. That's a regular
Right.
release."
Nobody
But
wants another
since it sold
re-release
out like
Sauron.
that,
Yeah.
everybody was like, "Oh, what the hell? This is BS." Yeah,
Yep.
I
Yeah.
totally agree. Now, what do you think about this Outback Storm? I also pre-ordered
Um,
her.
Not bad. I don't know this look for that. Honestly, these are the best pictures I've seen of her, so that's tempting now that I'm seeing it. I don't think
She was
they've
also a
got
Target
the
exclusive.
yeah, actually they don't really have the like storm cape
This
technology
is a
down.
different, yeah, this is a different cape
Oh, it's
that they're
new.
using that. It's new, yeah, and
Okay.
pinless. So I did
This looks
pre-order
really
this.
good actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know the story, but it looks good.
Yeah,
The
so
head sculpt
this was
looks
a
awesome.
pre-order. Yeah, that I did pre-order that. Oh, we already saw him. Okay. So we saw that I don't know if you saw Dan had a little leak recently, or not a leak, but a speculation, or
Mhm.
getting everybody a little bit worked up for New York Comic Con, which is next week, I believe. Um, and he alluded to a possible made to order. Now, first, I do want to ask, what is your take on made to order? Did you get the Mephisto? Do you think that previous? Did you save it? Whatever fell.
I was just
Take your
pulling
time.
out
Oh,
the other
Dragon
made to
Man.
order
There he
Dragon.
is. Oh, okay.
Nope.
That is sick. Here, let me see if I can make you big. Yeah, that is. Okay, so I'm kicking myself because this was something that I did not pick up, and it was available to me after the fact, right? I did
Yep.
see it, and I didn't pick it up, and now I have FOMO. Why, Dakota? Why? Why does this happen? Why is it that I want something when I could have had it, and now that I can't have it, I want it? Is it worth it? I'm sure it's worth it. It's awesome.
Oh, it's worth it. Yeah. It's so good. It was he's substantial. His wings are cool. Like I'm trying to think if I've ever actually read a comic book with Dragon Man in it, but he's kind of one of those characters that like I don't need to know anything about it. It's
just a cool
his
thing.
name is all that I need to know. Dragon Man. Obviously,
he had a couple appearances in the original run with Fantastic Four, and then also the what's it called?
Future Foundations.
Future Foundations, yeah. When he's like good and he's helping them out and stuff like that. But he does look really cool. Now, so I am all about made to orders. I think it's great. I think the concept, I think the fact that you can pre-order now and it won't charge you until it ships, like the Sentinels, I think that's awesome. I think that actually might work better than HasLabs. Now that might be controversial in itself. Some people get upset. What's your personal opinion when a company says this figure will only come out in a HasLab, it will never be made again, that HasLab fails, but then a few years later they release it in a made to order
in like a way better way.
In a way better way.
Yeah. I think it was necessary. I think this is the shortest amount of time they could have waited to put this out, because if they had done it like the next year, then it's like, okay, who cares about what they say about HasLabs, because they can just redo it.
Yes, exactly. It's tricky. It's a fine line where you're risking.
They talked about how Mephisto being in the MCU does make it easier to make a figure from the comics, and it's like, because I think you bring this up, even in those border, like I would imagine even a lot of the people working on Marvel Legends probably don't read Marvel comics. You don't have to read Marvel comics to market a product or to do things like that, to be like, here, paint this thing this way. Okay, I just got to follow the instructions. You don't need to know the character's details and everything. So like when you bring that up in like a meeting, even of the Marvel Legends team, and you're like, hey, we want to make essentially the devil of Marvel.
Isn't that what Ryan said that Dwight brought it? He pitched it as like, oh, we're going to be making the devil of Marvel. And
so I think even if you're
like, what the hell?
And you probably could have pitched it differently, and then like maybe there would have been backlash when it comes out on store shelves, and everybody, all the like Christian moms are like, oh, I can't believe this company's making the devil. But I think now with him being in the MCU, that obviously makes it much easier to put out, or to even sell to those people in the room that are like, who is it? Oh, it's from this MCU show. There he is right there. And you're like, oh, okay, well then sure, we can make a comic version of this. So,
and then Ryan Ting just also stated that there's probably 0% chance we're going to get a comic version of Mandarin, which a lot of people are upset about because
we already have a comic version of Mandarin. He's probably, like you're saying, like the first appearance.
First appearance. Sorry, yes. And he shut that down quick. He's like, yeah, no chance. They're not going to do that anytime quick, because Ryan did ask him. I just want to bring up Shane's comment. Only thing I don't understand about made to order for their business and is, what if a bunch of people cancel it after you've already made the product shipped? Yeah, I think that's one of the bad things, and I think that is exactly why Dragon Man was available. I'm sure a lot of people canceled their orders last minute, and they had a couple available, but that also doesn't see. The thing is, when a company, like, it helps some people, it hurts other people, right? Because a Dragon Man, people were pissed off, like, what the fuck? I thought this was made to order, and it was shut down once that was it. You couldn't get this app, and then after the fact, they were available. People were upset. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's still a business. You're gonna have a bunch of extra Dragon Mans laying around. They're gonna sell them.
Yeah.
People were saying,
would have
like,
made extra. regardless,
Yeah,
because if my Dragon Man came and his arm was
yeah,
broken, they
yeah,
would have to send me
QC
a
issues,
replacement. Yeah,
correct. Now people are like, "Well, they should have been $100 or they should have been 120. I should have paid a." I don't know when it comes to
sure,
that there probably would have been more backlash at that, but at the end of the day, you have your Dragon Man. You
right.
have it. You own it. So, are you gonna be did you pre-order Mephisto?
Mephisto, I passed on. I've never cared
Really?
too much about Mephisto. I honestly like everybody like from the beginning, like when WandaVision was coming out, they're like, "Oh, it's Mephisto." Whatever the next show was, "Oh, it's going to be Mephisto." Is this? I was like, "Can we shut up about Mephisto?" Like, I'm glad he's
Oh,
in the
okay, he
MCU
kinda
now,
like
so we can
the hype,
stop
yeah.
talking about him. Yeah,
I got you. Okay,
and
I see.
he's the figure looks cool to me. I was just like, I don't have that much attachment to the character. The Sentinels, though, I'm way more excited about those. I pre-ordered 3. Past Dakota was hoping that future Dakota would have more money, but
Hey,
current
you have
Dakota
2 more
has less
months.
money. So yeah, I got to get to saving. So
N
I'll,
now
I'll hopefully get one.
when it comes to the cool factor, the Dragon
Mhm.
Man, would you say that Mephisto and the Dragon Man had that same effect in the same sense of like you weren't too familiar with both characters, but maybe you pre-ordered Dragon Man because he looked cooler, or you didn't have that like Mephisto, everybody bringing up Mephisto, 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 and you're kind of just like over
True.
it. So what was it that led it more of you actually securing the Dragon Man versus, or did you think there was more value, more plastic, bigger fig on the Dragon Man versus Mephisto?
I mean, I definitely do enjoy a more substantial figure. But then also like I'm also a slut for wings. So having 2 sets of wings that I can put on my Dragon Man, um, I think just like inherently makes it a cooler figure
Yeah,
than
yeah,
like the
more
wings. I
value
like
too.
wings more than I like the chair. So I do think they went like all out and like that throne looks amazing. Like if
Yeah,
you're
it
wanting
looks
a
really
Mephisto
cool.
throne, like you got it. So I
Yeah.
think that's very cool.
Shane, just to let you know, I did actually pre Mephisto. I missed out on the Dragon Man. So if anybody has one available that they want to sell for slightly above retail, hit me up or do a
Yeah.
trade. Uh, Hey Dakota, I'll trade you this Wolverine for that Dragon
Oh,
Man.
I
It's like a good pass. It's a hard pass.
yeah.
So we were bringing up, I sent you these images. I know you posted this Hulk in the Strong Collectors. This is from Patrick Chow. I believe him and The Amazing were in Shanghai,
Mm.
or this is, I believe, in Shanghai, and this is a 112th. Um, we have a gray Hulk. We have what appears to be a Hulk from what is this again? Where
It's
Planet
like
Hulk?
Planet Hulk and World
Planet
War
Hulk.
Hulk.
This looks insane.
Mhm.
Now I don't know how this works. I'm sure these are imports. I'm sure this is going to be a company because I know obviously Hasbro and Marvel Legends, they own the 112th scale.
Mhm.
That's why Diamond Select, they were able to make um, Marvel figures, but in 7-inch
Mhm.
versus the 6-inch. But this looks insane, dude.
Oh yeah.
These
Like
look
I'm they already have the like Planet Hulk, World War Hulk up for pre-order, I think.
Mhm.
Um I didn't pre-order it, but I definitely want it. I don't
How much are they going for?
remember. And I don't remember it coming with a throne either. So maybe this is a different set or something, or like a deluxe version of it. Because I'm sure
Maybe.
it sold probably pretty well. Or maybe that's just a custom throne, but that
Dakota,
looks
do you
cool.
have that gray Hulk that came out 2 years ago for
I
the
do.
60th anniversary? You have that?
I
You
do.
planning on letting that go or no?
Seeing this,
I regret not picking that up too. Dude, that went
I
on
really
eBay,
like that
man.
sculpt too. Like,
Dude,
cause oh yeah, that's true. It was like 25 bucks, wasn't it?
bro, it was $25 for both the Bruce Banner and him. And then I also missed out on, was it Destroyer and
Yeah.
the
Thor.
Thor? That was
Yeah.
like for 30 bucks as well. And I regret. I don't know why I didn't pick those up.
Yeah.
You have a Destroyer
Tiffantron
too?
says 85 for the Hulk and then 50 for
Oh,
the
okay.
throne.
That's not bad. 100. Man, I can't because I'm one of those type of people that I like consistency in my display.
Sure.
I I appreciate people who are able to mix like imports with Hasbro figs. I can't do that. It's something wired in my brain that like it would
I mean,
throw
that
me
Hulk
off.
seems like he deserves a shelf all himself.
Yeah. So and then on top of that, if they start making, which I think they announced a Thor, or they
Oh
have a
yeah.
Thor which looks like a like a retro style Thor. You have a
Mhm.
Thanos, and I think that's Shredder.
Mhm.
I can't start in the line,
Those
dude.
looked
And
awesome.
they
I mean,
they
the
look
head sculpts
so
on that
good.
Grey Hulk look crazy. Like,
Yeah,
I really like the Marvel Legends sculpt of, like, the smoothness, and it seems very comic book, but, like, I don't know, something
the
about those
paint.
eyebrows are getting
Yeah,
me on that
the
Hulk.
eyebrows. Yeah,
Like, that's
yeah,
straight off the comic. Like,
yeah. This
that's
looks
so much better head sculpts than the Maximum head sculpts for Hulk.
Dakota, I have a question for you. So if let's say Marvel at Hasbro decided tomorrow that that's it, we're no longer making figs, so Marvel Legends, Star Wars, GI Joe, everything, we're done. Would you consider, if let's say this company started making Marvel figures, would you consider selling your whole collection, starting with a new company? Would you keep your old collection? Would you start with a new company? Would you call it quits? Would you say, okay, I hang my gloves, my jerseys in the rafters with Marvel Legends team? Or would you want to continue this collecting hobby?
I think it would depend on the switch, like, if, like, for DC, like, McFarlane losing it and Mattel getting it, I'm interested. Like, I wasn't really collecting a ton of McFarlane stuff. I'll dabble here and there. But
Did you pre-order that Batman Returns wave?
I didn't. I don't really do many
Okay.
of the movie figures.
Oh, okay, okay.
I try to stick, like, mostly I did order, like, the
Comic.
Mezco, Heath Ledger Joker, just because
Oh
I
yeah,
think that's, like, a very,
yeah,
like, the best Joker that's ever been and probably ever will be in a movie.
yeah.
Um, so, like, that one, and that one, like, I went, like, the upgrade for it too. Like, I know McFarlane had it, but I passed on that. Um, so, like, I don't know, like, I'm sprinkling in some DC Mafex figures.
Okay.
Maybe I
Hush
would get
Batman.
some. Yeah, Hush. I got the Black Hush
Okay.
Batman. I've got uh, the Superman figures, and then
The
so, like,
Nightwing too, right?
yeah. So I got like 6 Mafex figures, and that's okay. Like, I'll pick up maybe 2 per year. That's enough.
Dakota, is that because the Mafex ones are so much better than the McFarlane? Like, for
Yeah,
example, if Hasbro had the DC line, would you get Mafex or would you be content with whatever Hasbro quality
I
Marvel
would
Legends
probably.
DC?
Yeah, I'd probably stick with Hasbro. Like, that's kind of what I do with Marvel Legends. Like, I don't think that Mafex is that much better
Yeah,
than
I
Marvel
agree.
Legends, so I'm just gonna go with the cheaper option with Marvel Legends, and I'm
I see
super
what you're
happy
saying.
with that, and that's more cohesive, like you're saying, like, I've everything looks like a Marvel Legend, so it's cool. I'm only getting a few McFarlanes, I'm only getting a few Mafexes, so I don't really care that bad, and they're usually displayed differently or whatever. Um, if Mattel was making them, or, like, when they do start making them next year or whenever that is, I'll check them out. Maybe I would be getting more DC figures if they look cool, because I did like the DC UC stuff back when Four Horsemen was sculpting it. I just didn't like the articulation.
Okay.
Um, so it'll
Now, did
depend.
they announce 7-inch or is that going to be one true 112?
I
Have
don't
they
think
said
they've said
anything?
yet. No, and
What's
that
your
might.
what do you think?
I would. They'd be crazy not to do 112th if they can. Because isn't that what their He-Man stuff is too, and their wrestling
No, I think
figures?
the
Are those
rest of no,
7
that's
inch?
all 7. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, then I
That's
guess
the
that would be
scary
weird if
part. That's like,
7 inch.
uh,
So, because
yeah,
it's like,
we'll
they
see.
want to, like, mix in with Marvel Legends, which I think would be
Correct.
smart, because then you can have your Marvel versus DC. Because, like, who cares if your Superman scales with your He-Man or your John Cena? That doesn't
No,
make any sense.
it's
Superman
scale
needs
with
to scale
Marvel.
with Spider-Man, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that those 2 giant of companies would be like, oh, but that company's doing it, so we got to copy them. They might have too much of an ego. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am tempted by the Mattel He-Man stuff, like the new 2000X.
You like those?
That's my era of He-Man. So, like, I don't
Dude,
do
did you
any
see
He-Man now.
Mondo's?
Yeah, I saw Mondo's. It's like $100+ though.
It's 100. 100. It's I think it's 90 for the standard,
Yeah,
115 for the deluxe,
right. But then isn't Clawful like 125 or something? And
125. But he's
yeah,
huge.
yeah. But then I could take that 125 and buy myself 5 other Mattel figures.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
think
where I'm
what is
at.
it, the Masterverse, or I don't know. Well, there's one that they do pretty good. But then you'll have like the ultimate version. I think that He-Man
Yeah.
looks great, dude.
No, if I had unlimited funds, I would definitely be going Mondo easy.
But Mondo 112th, or would you
Yeah,
consider
Mondo
Mondo?
112th. Mondo, like, true, like, 1/6 scale stuff, like, I would
the
be tempted to
animated
get
series
like
stuff.
1 or 2 of those.
Dude, I've been tempted because whoever decided in Mondo to pick these licenses is like
Yeah.
me, because Batman
Right.
animated series, Spider-Man animated series, and X-Men animated series were like, and even TMNT are like my pinnacle, and that's like what they're
Yeah.
1/6. If I had like unlimited funds and
Thundercats.
space, Thundercats, um, that Batman animated series line, that Clayface looks so sick. You had, I think, the Harley Quinn with the hyenas.
Mhm.
I think that was an
The Man-Bat.
exclusive. Man Bat. And then you had the X-Men animated series line where it was like awesome. But my thing is, even though I love Nightcrawler, I love
Mhm.
Cyclops, I think if I was gonna get one of each, it would have to be Spider-Man, Wolverine, Batman.
Yeah.
Like, to
And those would
me,
look cool together.
I would say those would be, for me, like the ones that best represents, and that's my personal opinion, right?
Sure.
Um, the series, right? To me, I loved Logan, Wolverine, just the way he spoke, the actor that
Mhm.
portrayed him. I love, obviously, Spider-Man in the animated series, and obviously, to me, what's his Bruce Tim? Was it the one that voiced Batman, Bruce Wayne? What's his name? Oh my god, I
I
can't
don't
believe I
know.
just lost his name. But anyways, so that would be like the three that I get.
Sure.
If I would do that, but
And that would look
it's
cool.
it's tough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
but
there's no way I'm gonna, like, finish out a
a team or anything.
it's
No,
gotta be like a centerpiece type of thing, kinda like I said,
yeah.
like, I want 1 Hot Toys. I don't want
Yeah.
a team of Hot Toys ever.
Now, what
Even with
type of hot
unlimited
toy
money,
would
I
you get?
still would see, that's like a lot of the movie figures just don't really do it for me, but they
Okay,
have, like, one of their newer, it's probably been up on the website for a few months now, but, like, there's an Azrael Batman, I think maybe from the video game or
that looks
something.
sick. That
That one
looks
looks cool.
sick,
That would be the
dude.
one that I would pick
Even
if
it
I
has
could
like
pick.
that detail in its
Yeah.
costume where it, like, I don't know if like the neon light or there's some sort of like translu it looks sick.
Yeah, and that's like I don't have, like, that much attachment to the Azrael Batman, like, from reading the like, I've read comics with him in it, but it's not like I've, like, done, like, a deep dive, like, I read him when I was younger, it's just, like, a cool looking version of a
The rule
Batman
of cool.
costume.
Yeah.
So, like, and that was the first Mafex I think I got too, was the
Nice, nice.
Azbat. So then I got a bunch of the different McFarlane ones, so I'm like, I guess I could just kinda have, like, a little Azbat
Yeah,
collection, so
that would look sick. That would look, like, for me, I think if I was to collect Hot Toys, or at least just one, if I had got one Star Wars Hot Toys, it'd be Darth Vader, Empire Strikes Back, just a very classical version.
yeah.
Um,
They got a
and
good
they
looking
just
Darth Vader there too.
Yeah, and then just announced, dude, that T1000. Did you see I mean, the T8, was it the T800, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator
No, I haven't
from
seen it.
Judgment Day? Oh, dude, I'll send you the link later.
I haven't even
You,
watched Terminator.
no way. You never seen
No.
Judgment Day? Terminator
I don't
2?
I've seen one of them. I don't know which one
All
it
right,
was, and I
folks.
don't
Thanks for tuning in today. This is going to be it for
there's
the
so many of
show.
those I haven't seen Predator, I haven't seen Alien,
No way. Are you kidding me?
RoboCop, never seen it.
Okay. Do you like 80 movies? Like movies from the 80s? Are you
Yeah, that's
like,
okay. I'm not, like, opposed to them.
are you a big like movie guy? Like, do you like sci-fi? Do you like Lord of the Rings, Harry
I've never seen
Potter,
Lord of the
Star Wars?
Rings.
Oh man, we have. Oh,
How
I've
how old are
actually like
you?
had
You're younger than
34,
me, aren't you? Okay, I'm 30, so you're just a little bit older. But yeah.
dude. Oh man, but see, my thinking is, though, if you did like sci-fi, and this is just me obviously speculating,
Uh-huh.
you would have watched these already. So maybe you don't have an interest in that
Yeah.
genre, which is
It
perfectly fine.
right. Yeah.
But
I
if
mean,
you are
mostly I just watch superhero shows, superhero
okay,
movies.
but see, that's the thing. You do like fantasy, right? Because
Right.
obviously,
With
um,
Mythic Legions, you would think I would be all over Lord of the Rings.
yes, Lord, yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
I just never gotten around to it.
Dakota, we have homework. So
Yeah.
if we hopefully stream, which, I'm gonna reach out to you and talk to you, let's see, once a month or once every few months, you have homework. You have to watch at least 180s, either Predator, RoboCop, uh
I've seen new Predator
Alien.
stuff. Like I watched the animated Predator thing. I've
That
watched
was really
Prey.
good. Prey
So
was really good. Oh,
yeah,
um, dude, it's just those classic Lord of the Rings, is like, it's phenomenal, dude. It's like, I love that type of lore. But yes, homework. Does Jordan watch does he like, I
I'm
mean, I
pretty
know
sure
you
he's
guys,
seen all this
he's
stuff.
seen
Yeah,
yeah. I recommend it. And obviously you have to, when you do come in with an open mind, understand that these films were done in the 80s, so obviously the
Mhm.
effects, the
Right.
the a the CGI, it's going to be a little bit off-putting at times, but it's just such a like Alien is a classic, dude. Like it's
Yeah.
just such a great film. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. A lot of people like Terminator 1, but I grew up with Terminator 2. It's just a action-packed, like good time at the movies,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
No, I get that.
So
I
highly,
hadn't even
highly
watched
recommend.
Star Wars until like COVID, and that's when we watched like the original 3 Star Warses.
No way.
Yeah. Which that I like up until this year I think, I was like
Okay.
Star Wars is the most overhyped franchise in existence. But
Really?
then I watched Andor and I was like, actually, I love Star
Oh,
Wars now.
Andor's phenomenal. Yeah, it's
Andor's the
really,
best
really good.
show I've ever seen. Number
Really?
one,
It's
I
that
loved it.
awesome, dude.
Maybe like
It's a
taking
really
out
good show.
like superhero shows because like X-Men 97, that's probably the best animated show I've ever seen.
Really? It's that you
It's
praise it
I've
that.
watched episode 5 so many times, and every time I've cried.
Okay. No spoilers, please. All right.
Y
So I will
I'll
watch it.
watch some 80s movie if you go watch X-Men
X-Men
97.
97? But do you want me to watch the whole season? It doesn't add up. I can't. I'll do maybe 2 episodes per every movie you
It's
watch,
like a
or maybe
20,
3
isn't it
episodes.
like 30-minute episodes?
Oh, they're
And then
not
you're
they're not hour episodes?
I don't think so. Maybe they are. I don't think so. I thought they're regular cartoon
Okay, okay,
episodes.
okay. Well, I'll look, listen, I'll make it so for every hour 45-minute movie you watch, I'll watch
Okay.
whatever it equates to that. All
Okay.
right. So next time we meet up, we'll be discussing.
There we go.
Um, but yeah, Dakota, I really appreciate you taking the time to come. Like I said, I'm gonna try to start doing streams a little bit more often. I'm gonna be more available Friday. I'm gonna talk to you, see your schedule, and hopefully, if you and Jordan mend things, remember, you guys are better as two. So take that in consideration. I'll try to reach out to Jordan too to see if I can bring him, and hopefully you guys can mend things. And because you guys, you're the strong collectors, not the
All right.
strong collector. So but Dakota, I really appreciate you taking the time to be here today. Let everyone know where they can find you at, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah, we're on YouTube, Strong Collectors Podcast, Strong Collector Comics. Also on TikTok now. I've been posting a lot more over there. Got some like ratings of different action figures. Same thing, Strong Collectors. If you don't want to watch me, you can go on Spotify. I got our podcast there, but I've even got our videos on there too. So if you did want to watch me, you can watch them on Spotify too. So
Highly recommended, guys. Take a look at their channel. They create really good content. And also, if you want to get a couple of these figures, where can they buy some figs?
dude, yes, I was just gonna say, if you want your action figures, go to gonewmeta.com, use code strong101, or Kiffintron is in the chat. You can use his code too. Kiffin,
There
I
you
think it's
go. You even have a little.
Kiffintron101.
You even have a little code.
Yeah, I'll get you a code
Guys,
too. You want one? I'll get you one.
yeah, send me one too, and then
I'm the
we'll
director of
pre-order some
marketing and
things.
community, so
There you
let's get your
go.
community
Absolutely.
involved.
There you go. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, I'm going to be reaching out. Please follow me at Dante's Toys on IG and YouTube. And then I'm going to be having more content within the next few weeks. And then we're going to try to be consistent. All right, guys. All right. Stay safe. Have a good one. Thanks again, Dakota.
Thank you.